Hello everyone. Welcome to our Rocket Sports Media live stream as the Montreal Canadiens take on the Florida Panthers tonight. My name is Michael Spinella, and I'm the host of the Canadiens Connection podcast that comes out every single Saturday. And I'm here with my Rocket Sports Media colleague, Nathan. And Nathan, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good today, ready to watch this game against the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The Panthers coming off of a back-to-back here. But just before we set this up too much, for those that might not know, I host a podcast called The Canadiens Connection, and you can find that at canadiensconnection.fm. Comes out every single Saturday. Also, just so you know, we cover the Montreal Canadiens for the hockey news. So head over to thn.com/Montreal, and you can find all of our great content there. If you haven't already, check out our game day preview to help you set up for this game, and look out for the post-game recap afterwards. Give us a follow on all of our social medias, on Twitter at Rocket Sports, on Facebook at Rocket Sports Media Inc., and Instagram at Rocket Sports Media. And Nathan, it's the Florida Panthers, who are known to be a pretty physical team. How do you think that the Montreal Canadiens are going to match up here?
Well, it's going to be an interesting matchup, Michael. I think that Montreal is going to have to really take a look at their lineup and look at their strengths and play to those strengths. So I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to do all right against the Florida Panthers, but I guess we'll see how that goes throughout tonight's game.
Of course, and for those that haven't seen yet, we do have a live chat here, so just look to the right side of the screen. You should be able to see that live chat if you're on a mobile device, but if you're watching on your TV app, make sure you take out your phone, laptop, or tablet. Join us on YouTube there as well, and you should be able to access that live chat throughout the night. Feel free to send us any comments or questions you have along the way, but we have a question for you guys to start things off. We want to know, who do you think is going to score the first goal? So make sure that you join the live chat, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Also, just like to let you know what to expect tonight. You'll get some live commentary from me. Plus, we have all sorts of Habs, Panthers, and hockey topics to get through. So we look forward to hanging out with all of you, and we appreciate you being here with us. Nathan, interesting goalie matchup, and one of these goalies took a few minutes of gameplay last night. Can you get that started for us?
Yeah, so for the starting goaltenders today, we have Alex Stolars. He's 14-6-2 with a 2.2 goals against average and a 925 save percentage. His record against the Canadiens is 3-0-0 with a 2.60 goals against average and a 911 save percentage. Alex Stolars he was called into last night's game for relief of Sergei Bobrovsky. So look towards Alex to get in the game and get in the net tonight and to play a good game against the Canadiens.
For sure. And who's hitting the net for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, for the Montreal Canadiens, we have Sam Reinhart. His record this season is 14-14-7 with a 3.03 goals against average and a 905 save percentage. Against his former team, he's 0-4-1 in 5 games with a 5.05 goals against average and an 871 save percentage.
So that's not a great record against his former team. Of course, the Montreal Canadiens a couple seasons ago claimed Sam Reinhart off of waivers from the Florida Panthers. So Sam, very familiar with that Panthers organization. And of course, Anthony Stolars, kind of a good reclamation story. He seemed to be someone that was falling out of favor in the league. Last season, he reestablished himself, earned himself a contract in Florida, and he's done pretty well on the season. He's 14-6-2, goals against average of 1.99, and a save percentage of 926 with 1 shutout. So that Panthers backup has looked pretty good. Sergei Bobrovsky had a very rough time in net last night. What do you think happened to one Sergei Bobrovsky? He's had a pretty good season up until then.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't give it all to blame to Sergei Bobrovsky. Yeah, he allowed 5 goals on 16 shots against the Toronto Maple Leafs, but you got to look at the team as a whole. What caused those goals to go in? And it was, a lot of turnovers and such. So, I mean, can't give it all on Sergei Bobrovsky, but looking for the Florida Panthers to maybe have a bounce back game tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And a few lineup notes here. Of course, the Florida Panthers with a few last minute changes. Not a whole lot changes for the Montreal Canadiens. Doc, Dvorak, and Joshua Waugh all out with injuries. Pearson and Kovacevic out as healthy scratches. But Caden Gooley returns to the lineup from his 1 game suspension. But the Florida Panthers have a couple of their top 6 forwards sitting out tonight. Carter Verhaeghe currently week to week, and Matthew Tkachuk will not play tonight as he has an illness. Nick Cousins, Kyle Opozo, and Stephen Lawrence will draw into the lineup. What do you think about these changes?
You know what? It's going to be a little bit surprising for the Florida Panthers to have both those players being out tonight. Big key pieces to their point totals this year. But it's good to see a couple of these guys like Kyle Caposo, being able to get an opportunity on that third line with Anton Lundell and Eti Lusternarin. So it's a good opportunity for these guys.
Yeah, for sure. So looking forward to see what they have in store. Of course, Matthew Tkachuk is a pretty big piece of that lineup who's going to be sitting out. Carter Verhaeghe as well, who's had a great season with 71 points. But of course, Kyle Okposo drawing in is that was one of their trade deadline pickups. What do you think he brings to the team, apart from leadership, which he was the former captain of the Buffalo Sabres?
Well, he brings experience, right? So he's an established veteran in the NHL. He's going to be able to show a couple of these new guys coming in the lineup kind of what it takes to kind of be in the NHL, and he's had a pretty good season throughout his career, and he's looked pretty good against the Montreal Canadiens. But I think he can bring in some depth scoring, like I mentioned, and a little bit of guidance for some of these young guys.
For sure. A few minutes away from puck drop here. Lots of interesting players on both teams. I think we'll start things off here by getting to our players to watch. And who do you have your eyes on for these Montreal Canadiens?
Well, for the Montreal Canadiens, I have Caden Gooley, who is returning from a 1 game suspension against the Flyers. In his last 5 games, he has 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points. This defenseman... He's played good for the Habs this year, and against the Florida Panthers, he only has 1 assist in 4 games. So, I mean, for Caden, I think he's gonna want to be hungry this game. He wants to show that that 1 game suspension didn't slow him down, and I have a feeling he's going to come out here and show the Florida Panthers why he's an important piece to this defensive core for Montreal.
Yeah. And for me, I have a former Florida Panther as my Montreal player to watch out for. One, Mike Matheson, 10 goals on the season, 41 points, 25 power play points. I think offensively, he's looked pretty good. Defensively, it's a little bit hit and miss with one Mike Matheson. But of course, playing against his former team, I'm sure he'll have a little bit of extra juice to his step. In his last 5 games, he's got 1 goal, 3 assists. So I have my eyes on one Mike Matheson. And who are you looking at on the Florida Panthers?
Well, my player to watch for the Florida Panthers is actually a player we just spoke of. It's Kyle Okaposo. There's a lot of players I could choose on this Florida Panthers team, but I wanted to pick Kyle just because, he's able to have that opportunity against the Habs. So far this season, he is in 3 games with the Florida Panthers. He currently has 0 points so far since being acquired from the Buffalo Sabres to the Florida Panthers. So I figured, in 40 career games against the Montreal Canadiens, Kyle's got 25 points against the Habs. So if there were to be any game for a player to kind of get his first point on his new team, I think tonight would be the night for Kyle to get on the board against the Habs. And who's your player to watch for the Florida Panthers?
I'm picking an obvious one. I'm going for that low-hanging fruit. Sam Reinhart, of course, the 52-goal man, scored a goal last night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's going to be probably one of the best players on the ice, especially in the absence of Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe. You're going to want to be all over him. And Sam Reinhart, what else can I say? Great season for him, career year for him, and what a year to have an expiring contract as well.
Yeah. Big year
Both
for him. I agree with you on that one.
for sure. Both teams coming off of losses here. Montreal Canadiens losing 3-0 on Saturday night, and we just talked about the Florida Panthers losing last night to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Went wrong for the Montreal Canadiens in that shutout lost on the weekend?
Well, I think for the Montreal Canadiens, there were times and throughout that game where they had great opportunities, and they just couldn't really bury those opportunities against the Carolina Hurricanes. And to be honest, you know how we all know how the Carolina Hurricanes play the Habs. They recently just played them a couple weeks back. And they have this shutdown game to really control the puck and hold that puck in your offensive zone to make sure you do not get any scoring chances. So honestly, I think it was just missed opportunities for the Montreal Canadiens for the reason why they weren't able to get a win against the Hurricanes.
For sure. And puck drop game is underway and gets blown down pretty early on with an icing call. We just talked about the Panthers who played a game last night. Bobrovsky got pulled. Stolarz got into the net. What happened here? I feel like the Panthers went down pretty early on. They tried to fight back, but unfortunately with the empty net, they got scored on, and it ended up being a 2-goal game instead of down just by 1. What do you think happened to the Panthers there?
Yeah, so I think you echoed some of the things. Being able to, they went off onto a slow start. A lot of opportunities against them in the first 2 periods, and Toronto was able to capitalize on those scoring chances, and evidently ended up winning the game. And I think what else happened is that they waited till the 3rd period to really to drive their play to even get them on the board. So I mean, that definitely has to change.
As Sam Montembeault covers that one up, Florida with 1 shot pretty early on in this game. Just under a minute has expired in this one so far. And I would just like to remind everyone to join that live chat. If you are on a mobile device, you should be able to join that quite easily. If you're watching on your TV, pull out a mobile device, cell phone, laptop, or tablet. Join us on YouTube there as well, and you should be able to join that live chat because we have a very special question for you. We want to know who you think is going to score first. Let us know in the chat as the puck drops once again, and the Florida Panthers are in the offensive zone for a brief moment before the Montreal Canadiens corral that puck and send things the other way, chipping it past the blue line. They have some trouble getting set up here as the Panthers send it back out, and once again, the Panthers have exited the defensive zone, and looks like they'll get there first. They have an opportunity, but cannot get a shot away here. Another missed shot there, and the Montreal Canadiens will come the other way before they take a little tumble there. Back the other way, the Panthers going for a shot, and a great defensive play by Savard. He takes a penalty too. I believe that's going to be a tripping call. I think that was a penalty worth taking because the Florida Panthers were coming on hot here.
Yeah, I mean, for the Montreal Canadiens, David Savard, he had to. You got to stop the rush, right? And if it's costing you to take a penalty, I mean, I wouldn't say do that for every play, but this is clearly an opportunity where Savard thought he had to take a penalty to stop a goal from going in. So.
Yeah, trips him up with his feet there, and the Florida Panthers off to the power play pretty early on here. Just to echo AB in the chat, let us know which team you think will score first in the poll above, and drop your thoughts on which player you think will score first in the chat. Amy's predicting a Barkov goal to start this one off. And that Florida Panthers power play is underway, but it doesn't take long for Montreal to clear it all the way to the other end. And it looks like a Montreal player went for a bit of a tumble in the offensive zone here before the Florida Panthers were able to regroup and get past that offensive blue line. Looking to get set up here. A missed pass, but they managed to hang on to it. Barkov's there looking for his options. Sending it back to the point. Sends it back to Barkov. A shot deflected. Montembeault gets a piece of it. The puck's still in play. Back to Barkov. And now at the side of the net, back to Barkov. Lots of time and space for these Florida Panthers. They're electing not to take a shot, though, and they send it back to the point. 1 minute left on this power play. Shot at the side of the net by Luosterainen, and that one misses. Reinhart now. Back to Barkov. The Panthers can't connect on a pass here, and Montreal will clear the zone. 45 seconds left on that power play. So the Florida Panthers with lots of time and space there, but they did not seem to be doing anything. I know Montreal did a good job cutting out the middle, but yeah, I feel like the Panthers need to be a little bit less patient here and try to get some shots off.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel that they're trying to find that one play that's going to work the best for them to try to capitalize on scoring chances. But I think, like what you said, just try to throw the puck on net and see what you can get. Try to make some opportunities here while you're on the power play.
9 seconds left, and they go in offside. So it looks like this penalty is going to come to an end. Pretty harmless from Florida. But Nathan, to ask you the question that we're asking all of our viewers, who do you think is going to score first?
Well, I had it's actually for the Montreal Canadiens. I think Nick Suzuki is going to score the first goal for the Habs of the game as well. And I think it's going to come about 5 minutes left in this first period to really set the tone for the game.
Great prediction. And that power play comes to an end. I'm actually predicting a Florida goal to happen first, and I think it's going to be Barkov. I just feel like the Florida Panthers they're going to be really good out of the gate like we've seen. And if they can start getting some shots off, then I think they'll score pretty quickly in this first period. So shots currently 2-0 for the Panthers. Montreal yet to get a shot off here. 16 minutes to go. And in the defensive zone, Florida picks this one up, looking to bring up the puck. And Victor's going to join us in the chat with his prediction for who's going to score first. And he says Slafkovsky, so a great prediction there. Also, let us know what you think the final score will be. We'd love to hear all of your predictions tonight. And Arbor Xhekaj in the defensive zone carrying the puck up the ice. Pass misses. Unfortunately, he can't get it. Almost a good chance for Montreal as Stolarz swings a poke check, and it will get cleared out of the zone. The Florida Panthers are going to come the other way, past the blue line here. Not being given a ton of space there by Pezzetta with a great back check, but Florida manages to hang on to that puck. Montour at the blue line passes it off, and the shot misses. So Florida seemingly has had a few shot attempts here, but only 2 shots actually connected on the net. So what do you think is going on with these Florida Panthers here? Like I said, they seem to have some good opportunities, but just nothing connecting to Montembeault.
Yeah, I think they don't have that puck luck that they're looking for early on in the game here. But you know what? I think for the Florida Panthers, if they continue to throw the puck on net, try to get those opportunities, eventually one of those pucks will be able to go on to the goaltender and actually maybe go in, depending on a tip or something.
Stolarz makes a nice glove save. The Montreal Canadiens on the rush there. His best of the game. Now shots tied 2-2, and Florida wins a face-off in their defensive zone. They get it past the offensive blue line. They send it in. Montembeault deflects that to the corner. Now Florida hangs on to this one, bouncing puck. Tarasenko sends it over to the hash marks, and Florida will cycle this one around. Shot, easy save by Montembeault. He stands tall on his knees to cover that one up. In the chat here, Amy says Slafkovsky's season has definitely improved from the first few months of the year, and that for sure. I remember having a conversation about whether or not Slafkovsky should get sent to the AHL. He was not present, but he's really turned it up. Now he's a 40-point man, and full credit to him for turning around this season.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Michael. And to be honest, I'm going to be upfront about it. I was one of those guys that was kind of like, yeah, send him to the AHL. It was just that beginning of the season that was just kind of not looking the greatest. But yeah, again, kudos to Slafkovsky for changing it. And again, like you said, being a 40-point totals this year.
For sure. Jake Evans flips that one into the Florida zone, but Florida quick to cover that one up and send it the other way. Montreal does get possession of it in their own zone here, trying to break out. That puck just trickles behind Stolarz, and the Panthers will collect this one. Ekblad heading up the ice. Lots of time and space, almost lost the handle on it. Keeps possession. Weak shot saved by Montembeault. And now the Montreal Canadiens are going to try to head the other way here. They dump it in. And they do manage to get it, but they are surrounded by Florida Panthers players. Battle in the corner, and Montreal comes away with it. Not a whole lot of time and space, though, and an errant pass as the Florida Panthers clear that zone. Is it just me, or have the Montreal Canadiens really been trying that dump and chase so far tonight?
Yeah, I mean, because I think, they tried bringing it in with the, just trying to skate it over the line, but, Florida's been doing a pretty good job at the beginning of the period to stop them from doing that. So, yeah, that dump and chase, that seems to be their signature for right now at the beginning of this period.
For sure. And it hasn't seemed to really pay off there. I think that last sequence is the closest they came to actually coming away with possession in the offensive zone after a dump and chase. First little commercial break here on the broadcast. So still tied 0-0. Not a whole lot of shots for either side. Disappointing Florida power play to start that game. Like I said, they had a lot of time. They had a lot of possession, lots of space, a couple of missed shots, and just not a whole lot to show for it. I think Montreal did a good job clogging up the center of the ice like they normally do. But I'm a bit surprised that the Panthers have not been more aggressive.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on the points about Montreal. Over the last couple of games, they've been able to. You can see they've changed the way they're playing defense in their zone. But you know what? I think another thing that might be hurting the Florida Panthers is, especially on that power play, is the Carter Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk not being in the lineup tonight. I think, now I'm thinking about it, that might be part of the reason why they haven't been able to. That's why they didn't score on that power play earlier in this period.
For sure. Canadiens Connection is predicting the first goal to come from Luosterainen. It's a pretty good one. He's been pretty good for the Panthers. I don't know that he's had the offensive totals so far this season, but certainly a useful player for them. 12 goals on the year. That's not too bad for a third liner. He's mostly been playing in that bottom six, so that's an interesting pick, and I appreciate that coming in from the Canadiens Connection podcast. What did you think about that Stolarz poke check just a few minutes ago? Seemed like a bit of a harmless play in the bouncing puck that seemed to go towards Stolarz, and he did not hesitate to swing that stick out and knock the puck away.
Well, I think for Stolarz, that could have went a little bit worse if puck would have done a little bit of a different bounce off that stick, but you know what? Good for the young goaltender. Wants to show his team that he's, in the net tonight, ready to play the puck wherever it's needed. So I think it was a good move for him, and it's good to see that that goaltender's active.
And good evening back to you, Brian Clark. Nice to see you here. Back to the in-game action. About 13 minutes left in this first period. Still tied 0-0. As the Montreal Canadiens are in the offensive zone, trying to get a handle on the puck. Will they get it as they chip the puck behind the net? And Jack-Eye manages to send that one into the corner. They'll battle for it. Colin White's in the middle of this one here. Montreal rocking that fourth line at the moment with Harvey Pinard as well. And now Jack-Eye. Wrist shot. That one gets blocked. And Savard with a dive to try and prevent an odd man rush. That one gets whistled down for a hand pass, though. Savard's been diving twice tonight. This time he didn't get a penalty on it, but another great play there. Certainly showing heart and soul and sacrificing the body.
Yeah, no, exactly what you're saying. Like, even on that first play, I thought it was, a good play. It just, that stick kind of tripped up the player, but it looks like David Savard's in the game today, and like he is in most nights, and I think he's going to try to do everything he can to make sure Montreal pulls out a W tonight.
For sure. And Montreal with possession behind their net. Matheson's out there against his former team, and Goalie's going to send that up the ice. Back to Matheson. Slavkovsky now. Lots of time and space working his magic around some Florida Panthers, but he loses a handle slightly. Now Matheson back at the point. Swinging this one around, it looks like Florida's going to get to the puck first here. They'll battle for it, though, and Florida almost clears the puck. That one gets held in. Suzuki with a shot on Stolars. That one looked almost dangerous, bouncing puck, and that gets stopped. Now Goalie at the point tries to pass that one off. Suzuki passes it over to Matheson. Wrist shot. That one gets all the way through. Stolars had to be sharp on that one. I don't think he saw all of it, but nice save. Bit of a weaker shot from out far, though.
Yeah, definitely a weaker shot, but hey, it's good to see the Montreal Canadiens have a little bit of a cycle game there. For I think it's the first time in this period to see him have a little bit of zone pressure. So I mean, it's you got defensemen pinching and players trying to get that puck. So that was a good little sequence by the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, and Slavkovsky did a good job protecting the puck on that zone entry rather than going for that dump and chase. Slavkovsky carried that in pretty successfully. Harris with a shot. That one bounces, and I believe that got blocked. Did not get through to Stolars. Now behind the net, Florida Panthers are going to come the other way. Now the Panthers try to send this out of the zone. Error pass. Struble manages to keep that one in the zone. Montreal still protecting that puck. Shot from Struble. That one gets stopped. And the Panthers dump this one out. Bouncing puck. Rodriguez there. Loses a handle. And great move in the first goal of the game. Florida Panthers. Anton Lundell with a goal here.
Huh.
General breakdown from the Montreal Canadiens and the Florida Panthers. Not quite how they planned that to happen. But there you go. Anton Lundell with the first goal of the game.
Wow. That's definitely one I think the Montreal Canadiens would like to have back.
For sure. So, yeah, Lundell with a nice move there. He had Montembeault moving, and he knew it. Going right back to that forehand, faking on the backhand. Great move from Anton Lundell.
Yeah, I love that. That's a nice move. He was getting him moving, and then he was just like boom, he was frozen, and he just put the puck around him. That's honestly a great move by Lundell.
For sure. And the Montreal Canadiens trying to hang on to the puck in their own zone here. Will they get out Gallagher with a long pass? 2-on-1 with Armia Newhook and a stop by Stolars. Great setup, but can't beat Stolars. Now the Panthers trying to get this out of the zone. They can't do it. Gallagher with a shot gets blocked. Harris hangs on to that one. Good response from Montreal as as the Florida Panthers went up pretty early in this one.
Yeah, I do. I really do like the sequence they had, like that 2-on-1. Huge save by
Score for Montreal. 1-1 Armia on a deflection. I believe that was a rebound shot.
Yeah.
Nice response from the Montreal Canadiens. Amy with the wow. That's the easiest goal that Armia has had.
Honestly, I love the play by Michael Pizzetta with that nice low shot to give Armia that opportunity. Great
Michael
play
Pizzetta or Michael Ovechkin? Because that was a great play from him. Nice move, too. And Armia right where you want him in front of Stolars there to clean up the trash. So Montreal Canadiens tie this up.
Yeah, he pushed right off the defenseman. You'd see it just before he put himself in a great position and tapped it in.
So there you go. Yoel Armia, whoever predicted that one. Armia's had a pretty good last couple of games here. Certainly been a standout in my eyes.
Yeah, he's had a good season. I think he's at 13 goals on the season. So he's been doing really good for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, for sure. So 1-1 is the score. The Montreal Canadiens bounced back pretty quickly after that first Florida goal. And now Slavkovsky with Coffield in the offensive zone. That one gets stopped. Stolarz keeps it out. Now heading the other way are the Florida Panthers. This game is moving fast. Montembeault out to play it. He manages to send it off to his teammate. And here's Matheson coming up the wing, looking for a pass that misses to no one and gets sent out of the zone. Now behind the net, Stolarz stops that one up. Ekblad in there. He's being pestered quite a bit. Montreal manages to get him to cough up the puck. Not for long, though. Forsling comes away with it. And the Montreal Canadiens regrouping here, trying to get back in the zone. So certainly a bounce to their step. Currently 9-5 are the shots for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, and when you look at the first 5 minutes of the game, it was definitely leaning towards Florida. But ever since Montreal was able to score that goal, and even before that, they just started to piece it together. I'm not saying that they're going to win the game, but they're finding ways where they can get opportunities and try to capitalize on those opportunities. So it's good for Montreal.
For sure. And the Montreal Canadiens now behind their net, trying to get the puck out. Florida having a very good forecheck, trying to battle for this one. And the Canadiens don't get it out. Florida hangs on to it just barely. Now back at the point. Ekman-Larsson sends this one behind Montembeault. Almost a great setup. Couldn't do a one-timer, and Montembeault shuts down that wrister. Nice stop there. And that was an exciting sequence. A lot happened in just a few seconds there. Florida goes up 1-0, and not too long after, the Montreal Canadiens get it right back to tie things up. And great goals from both sides there. Of course, Anton Lundell with the nice move. That one's probably going to make the highlight reel. But Armia managing to clean up the garbage, put it in the empty net. All the work done by one Michael Pezzetta.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Michael. Great goals by both parties, and I think I'm gonna try to steal that little move for ball hockey for me that Lundell did. I'm gonna try that out and see if that works.
For sure. So that Lundell goal, that's his 10th of the season, coming at 9:16, assisted by Evan Rodriguez, who's picked up his 27th assist of the year. That was Armia's 14th, assisted by Pezzetta and Newhook. Newhook with his 14th assist, and Michael Pezzetta with his 9th. So not the guys in the top six getting involved outside of Evan Rodriguez, but certainly finding a way to do it. And one of those things I was looking for from the Florida Panthers is how they were going to react in the absence of Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe. And with that, I think that ties in nicely to tonight's mission, our keys to the game for both teams. And like I just said, for the Florida Panthers, it was all about that depth and how they were going to react. What do you want to see from the Florida Panthers tonight?
Well, I think it's having a bounce back game from last night. I think they need to take into consideration what they did well and what they didn't do well last night, and try to put that onto a lower standing team in the NHL. But Montreal's still a great team. But when you look at the stats wise and goals against and everything that goes around it, Montreal hasn't been doing so well against Florida. But I think for Florida, I think this is a game where they need to, like I said, see everything, get themselves, right their own ship, so they can turn around the games that they've been losing the last little bit, and show that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs.
And just a little reminder to everyone in the chat, we want to know your score predictions. We saw who scored the first goal for each team, but we want to know what you think the final score will be. So let us know in the chat, and we'll give you a nice shout out. We'll throw it up on the screen as well. Florida with an offensive zone face-off here. And just quickly before that puck drops, what do you think the Montreal Canadiens have to do tonight to get the victory?
Well, I think the Habs need to, they got to stay disciplined. That game against the Carolina Hurricanes, they had the opportunities, they had, the time on ice in the offensive zone, but they just weren't able to capitalize. And I think if the Montreal Canadiens stay disciplined, stay driven, know that they're able to do this, the goals will come. And evidently we've seen one already tonight. So hopefully we can continue to see that puck go in.
For sure, as Montembeault makes a couple of great saves on that sequence. Another defensive zone faceoff for the Montreal Canadiens. They win it and they'll come away with possession, briefly at least, as the Panthers have been good at jumping on top of them the moment they have possession of the puck. They do get it out of the zone, but it looks like it bounces onto the bench, and we'll get another faceoff. So for me, what I wanted to say is I wanted to see the Montreal Canadiens play very conservatively and shut down the Florida Panthers. I feel like we've seen the exact opposite of that so far tonight. So I think that if you're the Montreal Canadiens, you want to slow this down just a little bit more. I know that Montreal's good at scoring off of the rush. I know they'll be able to get those chances, but I think it starts with defense first, and that's what I think Montreal has to do to get that victory. Looking at the chat here, Amy says, I'll say Florida wins 4-2. That's a nice prediction. I actually happen to agree with you, Amy, on that one.
Yeah,
and offensive zone face-off here for the Panthers. And they hang on to possession, and they'll cycle this one around the net. And set up in front, Barkov all alone, scores, jumping over Montembeault. Great move. Very similar to what Anton Lundell did, but a little bit more dramatic. And there's the Barkov goal. So close with my predictions, but yeah, I agree with Amy on that 4-2. And how the heck does Barkov end up all alone in the offensive zone?
Oh, just bad man coverage. We're all puck watching, looks like it to me. And then Barkov just kind of slipped in that back door there, and boom, he took a page out of Lindell's book.
Exactly. Goes flying at the end just to make it a little bit more flashy. So the Panthers up 2-1, shots 11-10 for the Panthers right now. And we'll see if Montreal can bounce back quickly once again, like they did off of that last goal. And just before that goal, I believe you were going to give us your end of game prediction.
Yeah, so I mean, that goal doesn't affect my prediction. My prediction is, again, Florida Panthers win. It's going to be a 4-1 Panthers win tonight against the Montreal Canadiens.
Victor K, my prediction is 5-4 Montreal in overtime. And of course, you and I, not strangers to overtime or the shootout, so it could happen.
Yes.
As we approach the 5-minute mark in this period, just like to remind everyone, we'll take a 3-minute break once that clock hits 0, and then we'll come back for an intermission show. We have lots of great topics to get to there, and a little bit of a recap of the period we just watched, so make sure you stick around for that. Colin White coming in past the blue line. He takes a weird shot at the side of the net. That one misses. Xhekaj keeps the puck in the zone. Xhekaj with a shot. That one gets deflected out of play. Looked kind of dangerous. A little snapper from the point there from Xhekaj.
Yeah, he's got a hard shot.
For sure.
Definitely got to watch out for that shot, even those snappers.
Amy says Victor K is looking for a barn burner. And it could happen the way this game has gone so far tonight. I think Victor's got a great prediction there. Just a little update on that Barkov goal. That was his 22nd of the year, assisted by Vladimir Tarasenko. That's his 29th assist on the season. We'll talk a little bit about Vlad Tarasenko in the intermission too, as he's someone that they acquired at the trade deadline for a pretty steep discount, I might say. And he's been a great fit for them so far. Vlad Tarasenko also jumping into the top 6 in the absence of Tkachuk and Verhaeghe. So far, doesn't appear to be missing a single step, and he fits right in. Great pass there to Barkov to set up that second Florida Panthers goal.
Yeah, and it's good to see that Tarasenko is being able to be given that opportunity. He's sitting on the third line. Contributing like you were saying, but it's good to see him to have that opportunity in the absence of two bodies.
For sure. And just a little reminder here, if you're enjoying what you're seeing tonight, and if you're interested in seeing any of our other content on this YouTube channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button and share with all your friends so that we can get some more hockey fans in here. We love our Habs fans. We love our Panthers fans. We'll even be welcoming to Leaf fans. So if you're a hockey fan of any kind, feel free to join us on any of these live streams. We're more than happy to have you all here. And also, as you're putting in your score predictions, let's do a little bit of a Rocket Sports roll call here. Where are you watching from? Leave your answer in the chat. Hockey fans come from everywhere. We've had people from Russia, we've had Philippines, Ireland, everywhere around the globe. Personally, I'm right here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And Nathan, you're over in Ontario.
Yep, Fort Erie, Ontario. Nice little southern town, but wish I was closer to Montreal, to be honest.
You have to come visit.
Yes.
So 5:30 left in the game, or in the period, and great shot off the rush here. Almost a rebound coming out of Montembeault, but he manages to cover that one up pretty quickly. So the Florida Panthers showing a lot of energy despite being on the second half of a back-to-back here. They looked a little bit slow to start, if I'm being honest, but they seem to have found that juice and a little bit of pepper in that step.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one.
So puck's going to get dropped in the offensive zone. Barkov out there to take the face off. Victor from Winnipeg, Manitoba. It's pretty nice. Montreal Canadiens with the puck behind their net, looking to break things out here. Anderson does not get to the puck on time, and we'll get an icing call. Anderson doing everything he can to try and get past that Florida defenseman, but can't seem to. So that puck's going to go all the way to the other end of the ice.
Yeah, I think his legs were trying to move quicker than what he anticipated.
Yeah, for sure. I was almost wondering if we were going to get an interference on that, but no call on the play. That's fine. I think it's kind of close from what I saw, but
yeah, that loose hand.
yeah. So waiting for that puck to get dropped, and we have Bennett. Jake Evans wins that faceoff, and Montreal will send it out of the zone. Can't connect on the pass once again, so Florida's going to take it and regroup. Almost a fumbled pass by the Florida Panthers, but they keep possession here. So Kyle Opozo dumps the puck in. That one gets circled around. Cousins keeps it in. Montreal trying to get that puck out of the zone, but they can't seem to. The Florida Panthers just throwing the body everywhere right now. Now Montreal looking to slow things down. Now behind their net. I believe both teams out on a change, and it's Jack-Eye looking for an up pass. That one doesn't connect, and it's going to go behind that Florida net. Ekman Larsson's there to get the puck first. He's getting pestered by Slafkovsky, but he gets around. Slafkovsky almost gets possession after that, but he can't hang on to it. Now, going all the way to the other end, another icing, as that puck cannot connect onto Suzuki's stick. So it's going to come all the way back to the Montreal zone. So something's not connecting for these Montreal Canadiens. Perhaps when we were talking about the dump and chase, these might actually just be errored passes at this point.
Yeah, no, it's considering the passes that aren't connecting, and it's not looking too good for Montreal. But to go back on your point about Florida Panthers using the body, I'm surprising that they're using the body as frequently as they are this year, because their team was more built for that kind of game style last season compared to this season, and especially Matthew Tkachuk not being in the lineup. I didn't really think that they're going to be throwing the body as much as they're doing in this first period.
For sure, it is quite effective. You can tell that this is a very cohesive team, and they certainly found an identity, especially since last year's playoff run. Looking at the chat here briefly, Canadiens Connection says, always a lot of Habs fans at the Canada Life Center when the Canadiens are in Winnipeg. Are you one of them, Victor? Tarasenko with a shot. That one can't hit the net. And a high flip of a puck that lands just behind Montembeault. Nice safely in his defenseman's stick. And Montreal's trying to get this out of the zone. About 3 minutes to go. Montreal can't seem to get out of their zone. Here's Matheson, who's just going to carry it all the way up the ice. Shot at the side of the net, stopped by Stolarz, and a big rebound. Newhook picks it up. He's going to circle around the net in the corner. He's not having an easy time coming away with the puck. Now Florida the other way. And as Canadiens Connections has said, very physical team. Florida Panthers lead the NHL in hits this season. So it makes sense. I can see that. Now, Armia trying to cause havoc in the offensive zone. And it looks like the Montreal Canadiens will go on the power play. There's a hook on the play, so Armia draws that penalty.
Oh, yeah.
So great play by Armia to get Montreal on the power play here. And we'll see what this Montreal power play is made of. The Montreal power play has not been great so far this season. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm going to agree with you on that one. It hasn't been great this season, but you're starting to find little glimpses of good things. Like Slafkovsky being able to shoot the puck more, being able to be more of a passer too as well, not just a shot like from a one-timer pass. But I think for this power play, I think they need to maybe draw it up a little bit differently, because I know their famous slingshot pass to Suzuki or new hook, depending on who's on the ice, seems to be their signature. So I think if Montreal kind of changes things a little bit, maybe they can find some success.
So Montreal wins the face-off there. That was new hook. And now the power play begins. Slafkovsky not being given a ton of time or space as Barkov's on him immediately. Montreal manages to hang on to the puck despite coughing it up. Newhook drops it off to Slafkovsky. Matheson with a shot that gets blocked. And that gets sent all the way back to the other end of the ice. Victor K in response says, yes, I cheer for the Habs at Canada Life Center, which upsets my mom, LOL. So credit to you, Victor. We appreciate that.
Nice little toe drag move by Matheson there to kind of fool the defenseman, eh?
Yeah, it was a nice little move. It's just the shot selection that I don't think really worked out.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. But the move, I don't know if the guy was already falling before he did the little toe drag, but
yeah,
it looked pretty good.
Florida wins the face-off in the offensive zone. That gets blocked, though. Slafkovsky springs up new hook. And Montreal's in the offensive zone, but not for long as Mikkola sends it the length of the ice. Minute 15 to go on the power play now. So not a whole lot to show on this power play. And Montreal having some struggles getting it out of their own zone. Still plenty of time, though, if they want to regroup here. Now 1 minute left on that power play. And that one gets called offside. Maybe a hand pass, actually. Oh, actually, there's going to be a penalty. Delay of game, so puck over the glass. It's going to be a 5-on-3.
Nice.
So just under a minute of 5-on-3. So big opportunity for the Canadiens here to get back in it. But kind of a weird play here. Yeah, it was Louis Durainen that kind of had his stick happen to touch the puck and deflect it over the boards.
Oh, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a tough play because I don't think he had anything to do with it, really.
No, I don't think he even thought that was going to happen.
No.
Holy. Well,
5-on-3, and Montreal comes away with the puck off of that face-off. Matheson out there passes over to Coffield. Both of them being very patient. At the side of the net, Suzuki back to Coffield. Suzuki with the one-timer. Stolarz with the save, and he sends it back all the way to Coffield at the point. Suzuki with a one-timer. Another great save by Stolarz. Now he's on his back. That one gets sent around. Montreal hangs on to possession. Stolarz back set up. Suzuki there. Matheson. And another save by Stolarz.
What He's doing it right now.
Ekblad drops Slavkovsky after the play. Now Slavkovsky's on top. So big scrum here. I see a glove come off, but the official trying to lock that down and prevent anything further.
Wow. Really upset at Slavkovsky here.
Yeah. Not sure what started that beyond maybe a bit of a scrum in front of the net. Slavkovsky comes up. His visor's completely fogged up.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the Canadiens will be able to continue a 5-on-3 here. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Slavkovsky, he looks a little fired up. You can tell in that scrum he was ready. You can see his arm cocked back, but good thing the refs there to kind of split these guys up.
For sure. So it looks like Slavkovsky's going to end up on a penalty here. He heads out to the dressing room. So last few minutes here, pretty entertaining so far. Lots going on, but just a couple minutes left in the game. A couple of great chances for Montreal in that sequence. Lots of great passing, but Stolarz with some great lateral movement and really good reflexes to keep this one tied or keep his team ahead.
Yeah, and that one timer that he saved it with his toe, which made him fall on his butt, and like huge saves.
Yeah, and Coffield with a nice shot. That one misses. 2-man advantage comes to an end. Going to be a 5-on-4 now. 5 seconds left in this period, so this power play is going to carry over to the next one. And 20 minutes is done. So just under a minute of power play time for the Montreal Canadiens to start the next period. 2-1 for the Florida Panthers. It's been an entertaining affair so far. We're going to take a 3-minute break. Make sure you stick around with us. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we will see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to our live stream watch along as the Habs are taking on the Florida Panthers. I am Nathan, a proud contributor of Rocket Sports Media, and I'm here by my Rocket Sports colleague and host of the Canadiens Connection, Michael Spinella. How are you doing?
Doing great. What an exciting period that just went down. Just to sum things up, looking at Rocket Sports on Twitter. That's Rick Stevens / Rocket Sports Twitter account that live tweets every single game. Shots on goal 14-12 for Montreal in the first period. Panthers lead the Habs 2-1. The only Montreal goal coming from Armia. And yeah, that was a crazy game. Things got started, or crazy period rather. Things got started off pretty quickly. Just 9 minutes in, Anton Lundell gets his 10th of the season, and it's looking like that's going to come in as unassisted. The next goal coming just a minute later from Yoel Armia, assisted by Michael Pezzetta, who did most of the work, to be honest, and Alex Newhook. And just towards the end of that period, it was Aleksander Barkov with another highlight reel goal. Great move to go around Montembeault, assisted by Vladimir Tarasenko. So what is your thought on that period?
Well, I think we had a little bit of everything in that period. We had, we had goals, we had, penalties, we had, both teams having great moments, both teams having moments where they could have done better. But I feel that it's going to make the second period to be more intense. I believe. I'm sure both these teams are looking at it and saying, okay, 2-1, and one team saying I got to score more goals. The other one's going to say that I want to try to win this game. So I think for both teams, they're going to be coming out fighting, and it's going to be a great second period.
For sure. Just going to take a look at the chat here briefly. We have a newcomer, and Devilman joins in with a Go Canes. I'm a little bit surprised to see that in the chat right now as Montreal's taking on the Panthers, but welcome to Devilman. And we appreciate fans of all different teams. So if you're a Florida fan or Habs fan, we'd love to hear from you. And just before we get to some of our topics that we wanted to talk about, a couple other games on deck tonight. The Blackhawks currently up 1-0 on the Islanders in the first period. Sabres beating the Capitals 2-1 right now, and that might have some implications on that wild card race in the East. And the Penguins currently tied with the Devils 1-1 after one period. So with that, I think let's take a look at the position that the Montreal Canadiens are in. And I have a quick question for you. Are you Team Tank, or are you looking for the Montreal Canadiens to win some games down the stretch here? I know there's not a lot of time left in the season.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say that I'm Team Tank, but I would love to see this team still be competitive down the stretch. I want to make sure the young guys on the team continue to grow, get that NHL experience, and that needed gameplay to play in the NHL. Do I want the Habs to win every game? No. There's a couple teams I'd like to see him beat, though. I'd like to see him beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and I'd like to see him beat the Senators. But if it's going to make it so the Habs go above in the standings than the Senators, then I'd rather see the Habs lose to the Senators this year. So if the Habs can win 3 to 9 games in the remainder of the season, I'd be a happy fan.
For sure. Just going to take a quick look at the chat. Here's Canadiens Connection chimes in with an update. Canadiens ice time in the first period, most Matheson with 11 minutes and 16 seconds, and least Michael Pezzetta, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And Pezzetta certainly making the most of that period, picking up an assist. I've actually liked what I've seen from Michael Pezzetta in that period. Certainly showing off that physicality, which you need against these Florida Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, seeing his ice time kind of made me think different now, because I thought I saw him on the ice more than 2 minutes and 50 seconds. But hey, I guess he's played that well when he's been on the ice.
For sure. So just back to our discussion here, as we were talking about whether or not you are Team Tank. Personally, I completely agree with you. I think that you don't want to see these Montreal Canadiens get blown out. You want to see them, at least in these games, beating the Leafs, always a treat. Against Ottawa, that's kind of where it gets tricky. But I think right now it's important that you look for that better position in that draft lottery that's going to be coming up. Right now, the Montreal Canadiens, where they are in the standings, 6 from the bottom, they have a 7.5% chance of getting that first overall pick. So, Nathan, just another little question for you, kind of similar. Let's take a look at that Eastern Conference wildcard race. So we know the Florida Panthers are already clinched, 99 points, currently second in the Atlantic Division. But just under that's where it's going to get interesting. We've seen some movement over the last couple of days. Right now, hanging on to the first wildcard spot is the Tampa Bay Lightning, 74 games, 89 points. And in the second wild card spot, you see the Washington Capitals, 73 games, 82 points. But tied in points are the Detroit Red Wings, but 2 more games played. So what's going on with that Eastern Conference wild card race, and what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I think this Eastern Conference wildcard race it's going to continue to heat up until the very end. I think all teams that are in the running here are going to have some very interesting games to play. And notably, Pens will have to play the Islanders, Devils, and the Capitals before the end of the season. So depending on where they are in the standings, if they're able to, pull out those wins, it would help them out strategically through to get themselves in the playoffs. But when you look at the Flyers, the Flyers are going to play the Habs, the Capitals, and the Islanders as their easier games that are fighting for a playoff spot. I mean, the Habs aren't, but the Capitals and the Islanders are. So those are going to be 3 very important games for the Philadelphia Flyers. And for those Capitals, they're going to have to, like I said, they're going to play Pens, they're going to play Devils, they're going to play Red Wings again before the end of the season. So, all these teams, the Flyers, Capitals, and Pens, and the Red Wings, and the Devils, they all have, they're all playing within their conference. And when they're playing those teams, it's going to be very, very important for all those teams to be able to pull out wins against them to try to get into that playoff spot. That's pretty tight right now. So if these teams can do that, I'm for sure that it's going to continue to make this even more interesting than what we anticipated.
For sure. And because we mentioned tanking, let's take a look at the bottom of that Eastern Conference right now. I don't think anyone's going to go below the Columbus Blue Jackets, 62 points in 75 games, but just above them in ninth place in that wild card race is your Montreal Canadiens, 73 games played, 68 points. Just one place above, and 8th is the Ottawa Senators, who we just mentioned, with 70 points in 73 games. Both teams playing tonight. The Ottawa Senators playing against the Minnesota Wild. So I guess let's make you just a pure Habs fan right now. Let's not worry about biases or anything. But do you want to pass those Ottawa Senators in the standings, or are you comfortable just tanking and getting that better draft lottery position?
I'm comfortable in taking for the rest of the season, and here's why. You see at the past NHL drafts, you'll see teams in 5, 6, 7 potentially get up to 1, 2, 3 spot. So being able to be in that position, it does give your odds a better chance of getting first. Not saying you're going to get it, but it gives you better odds to doing that. So I think for the Montreal sake, they should definitely just, continue to be lowered in the standings.
For sure. As I mentioned, we're coming up on the end of the season here pretty soon. A few weeks left, and who better to keep you up to date with everything than us here at Rocket Sports Media. So head over to thn.com/Montreal. That's the Hockey News Montreal. We do tons of game day posts, pregame previews, postgame recaps. Look out for both of those today. Feature articles. We cover Laval Rocket, also the Trois Rivières Lions on there. And make sure that you're following us on all of our social media, at Rocket Sports on Twitter, at Rocket Sports Media Inc. on Facebook, at Rocket Sports Media on Instagram, and check out our podcast that comes out every single Saturday. CanadiansConnection.fm is where you can find every single one of those. You can also find it on any of your favorite streaming platforms. But we also started putting this on our YouTube channel right here, so make sure that you check that one out right after the game. The latest episode, entitled Coffield and Slavkovsky Insights into Their Struggles and Success. We brought one of our Rocket Sports Media colleagues onto that episode, Dr. Morris, who we've had a few times, if you're familiar. If not, he does a great job breaking down generalities. Of course, he's not the doctor for any of these players, but he's still a doctor. He's a pretty smart guy, so you'll want to check that one out on our YouTube channel right here. So make sure you hit subscribe on that and check it out right after the show. Plus, just posted today was the Rocket Hockey Report, hosted by one Amy Johnson. And the latest episode is entitled Laval Rocket, just 6 games left to secure their fate. So, of course, the Laval Rocket in a playoff, fighting for the playoffs right now. And who's stopping them? None other than one young Jakub Dobeš. And here's Amy Johnson to talk about that.
Jakub Dobeš has been doing the yeoman's work in the crease, and he had some really good performances again last week, despite there not always being a victory when he was in net. But he is starting to become a very dependable netminder for Laval. Coming up with the big saves when he needs to, looking so much more confident in net. It's obvious that those first couple of months of the season was the adjustment period for him to get used to the style and pace of play in the AHL, and he is very much settling into his role. I think that he's probably setting himself up for a very successful 2024-25 season next year.
So great preview there of the Rocket Hockey Report right here on this channel. Brand new from today. Amy Johnson does a great job covering the Laval Rocket. She covers all of the games. You can even see her write-ups at thn.com/Montreal. And just highly recommend checking that out. Montreal's not going to make the playoffs, but you know what? Laval's still in the race. So keep up to date with the Laval Rocket with us. We'll give you everything that you need to know there. So lots of hockey to be excited about. We just talked about Team Tank, or not Team Tank. We talked about the Eastern Conference wildcard race. Let's talk about a team that is definitely making the playoffs. That is the Florida Panthers. And they have a 50-goal scorer on their roster. One Sam Reinhart. Have you heard? 52 on the year. Might get another one tonight. We'll see. He got one last night. Currently with the highest shooting percentage in the league at 24.9%. What can you tell us about one Sam Reinhart?
Well, Sam Reinhart has had a good season. In 75 games, he has 87 points, and he's looked very good for the Florida Panthers. And to kind of touch up on his shooting percentage, when you look at his goals, he's got 27 goals on the power play of those 52, and he also has 5 shorthanded goals, and he's been able to really get points on all areas of the ice. So his coach has really put him in, situations where he can definitely take the opportunity and run with it. And he's got 9 game-winning goals as well. So he's been, like I said, he's been put into situations where he's able to score. And here's a little bit of information. There's only been one other 50-goal scorer on Florida Panthers, and that was Pavel Bure, and he did it twice. So for Sam Reinhart to be in that company, good for him. And honestly, I feel like he's really done well this year. And that shooting percentage, obviously, it is a little bit high, but for the season, he's been able to show why he's been able to score that many goals. And, it might drop, as the season goes on, who knows, but we'll see how he finishes the rest of the season.
For sure. And not to mention, he's actually on that second penalty kill unit. So, of course, he's got a little bit of a defensive touch to him. We saw him block a shot in that first period as well. So very impressed with one Sam Reinhart. It's been quite a career leading up to this. And honestly, I'm all for a player like that, working his way from the bottom and getting on top like that. So full credit to one Sam Reinhart on being able to get to that 50-goal mark. But outside of Sam Reinhart, there's a kind of a lack of depth scoring on these Florida Panthers. They have 4 players with 70 or more points, but outside of that, it's a pretty steep drop-off. What do you think about that?
Well, when you look at all the NHL teams, when you, especially the Florida Panthers, when you have your core players playing like they are, I'm gonna say it, most of them, or at least two of them, are at least going to be a point per game. Depending on how the rest of the season goes, the other two might be able to join them, but for sure, Sam Reinhart and Matthew Tkachuk, both players that definitely be a point per game. But I think for the Florida Panthers, honestly, I found this quite surprising. I'm not having that much depth scoring when you take a look at it, because Florida's so high up in their conference, and they've been able to be in a playoff spot and be able to win games. So I feel that they've been able to get, with Tarasenko being added, great piece. But other than that, I think their depth guys, they haven't really been able to shine too much, but they've done enough to be able to give Florida enough opportunity, with their core guys being able to get points as well.
For sure. And we'll revisit that during the next intermission as gameplay is back underway. Florida Panthers up 2-1, and Montreal still with a few seconds of power play to go, just under a minute. So back into that. And of course, when you have these power plays split up between two periods, it's pretty difficult for teams to be able to capitalize. You want to act fast here, and let's see if the Montreal Canadiens are able to do that. So Nick Suzuki through center ice, and Montreal in the offensive zone here. 20 seconds a power play to go, and that gets sent all the way back to Montembeault. 10 seconds left. You might get one more rush here. I think that this power play is about to expire. 5 seconds. Stolarz comes out to play it, and back to even strength. So Montreal failing to capitalize on that power play opportunity. Kind of a difficult spot coming in between periods, though. And fortunately, I don't think they ended up with enough possession to be able to do anything with that opportunity.
Yeah, and just like you were saying, like having it split between periods, that makes it very difficult for that team. But nevertheless, they Florida got through it, and we'll see how the rest of this period plays out.
One-timer stopped. And we're getting some more scrums at the side of one Anthony Stolarz. Not sure who was in the middle of that one, but these two teams starting to get on each other's nerves. Neither one of them seems to like each other right now. Of course, we revisit last period right at the end there. Ekblad versus Slafkovsky as they got into a pretty major scrum. So temper's starting to flare, and this is exactly what the Florida Panthers want. I think the Habs are really falling into that trap.
Yeah, like Canadiens Connection brought up, Florida Panthers are the highest hit team in the league, right? So I mean, they're definitely playing to their strength, and like you said, Montreal needs to analyze it a little bit better and see what they can do to counter that.
For sure. So just a little reminder here to everyone in the chat. We're taking score predictions right up until the end of the game. We want to know what you think the final score will be. I said 4-1. We've seen a few other predictions in there. So let us know in the chat. We look forward to hearing from you all. So Stolarz with another save off of Gallagher pretty quickly. About a minute 30 into the second period. Montreal seems to be able to get a few opportunities. A couple of nice shots there. Amy in the chat says, I still say 4-2 for Florida. So scramble in front of Stolarz. Puck's still loose, and Montreal can't come away with it. That one does not get clear, though. Montreal hangs on to it. Josh Anderson with the shot. That one gets blocked. Bit of a fluttery wrister there from Josh Anderson. In front, Anderson with a backhander that completely misses the net. So Savard at the point. Anderson takes a tumble. He looks a little bit awkward now. Montreal still with possession. Anderson passes it in front. And Florida finally gets this one out of the zone. Canadiens Connection says in the chat, Aaron Ekblad is not on the Florida bench. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what happens with Aaron Ekblad if he returns. So Xhekaj with an opportunity, and Stolarz covers that one up. So Montreal, after the power play, coming out with a lot of energy here. Nice to see that from them. A nice little response.
Yeah, little jackhead going a little skate for in front of Alex Stolarz there and see what he can scrum up a little bit, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
But
So,
did you know in the last 5 games when Panthers have played the Canadiens that the Panthers have outscored Montreal 27-12?
oof, that's not a good record.
No,
Couple of
I
high
was like,
scoring games in there, I guess.
yeah, when I saw that stat, I was like, wow, that's a lot of goals against.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's okay. It looks like we have a play being reviewed here to see if the puck crossed the blue line at just a few minutes ago.
Oh,
Might be
that
going
scrum.
back to that scramble. They're gonna have to turn back the clock quite a bit.
Yeah, because like all of a sudden you see the puck just shoot out of there when everybody was there. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
hell?
that's interesting. So they're going to refuse this. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long here. But yeah, the angle that they're showing, that's hard to see. I don't know how they're gonna figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the call is going to be if they can see white between the puck and the line, right? So
Yeah, you can kind of
that's
see it, but
it's that one's a tough one. It's blurry because you got to look through the mesh, and the gloves probably or his blocker or gloves there, pad, skate. It's a hard view.
yeah, it was called no goal on the ice too, so it's got to be conclusive. Amy
Hmm.
chimes in. I'm not sure that completely crossed the line. That's kind of what I'm seeing too.
Yeah,
But Stolarz with a pretty good game so far. Um, yeah, I don't know how this is going to get called. It looks like they have a decision though at the very least. And let's wait and see what they say. So it did cross the goal line, and it's going to be a goal.
oh no, that's good for the
So
Habs.
yeah, 2-2. So this is a little bit odd. I guess they're gonna have to turn back the clock a little bit because a lot of game happened in between here.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's a lot of time going back. I think it's like
Yeah,
18-17 or something on the clock.
yeah, exactly. It looks like it was Gallagher as well, right in front of the dirty area in the crease. So yeah, it's just kind of a bizarre sequence, and Montreal manages to tie this one up.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
Oh.
getting maybe a challenge. Oh, okay. Now they call that one back. Miscommunication, and fans are gonna like that.
Oh no.
What?
Oh
Amy
no.
with, oh my god, the ref misspoke. Okay, it's no goal. So yeah, no goal.
Oh,
Tied.
oh
Yeah,
Gallagher.
not tied anymore. What in the world? Doing that at the Bell Center too. That's not the right place to do that.
Oh, that's a face palm for sure.
And Alex Newhook is laughing so hard, according to Amy.
Oh man.
What in the world?
Oh man. Can we coaches challenge, refs challenge?
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, Marty can't believe it. I was happy for Gallagher. It's been a while since Gallagher's had a great game, and yeah, so it's gonna remain 2-1. And yeah, the face palm coming in from Shadow Kitty. How's it going, Shadow Kitty? Like, anyways, so
Hey.
we don't have to roll back the clock at all. So that probably makes this a little bit easier to follow, if anything.
Yeah, so now I guess Montreal really has to continue to put the puck on net and try to get a goal here, tie it up.
For sure. And the crowd letting the officials hear it with some boos right now.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's got to be blooper of the year. Like that official, man. Oh, you can't do that.
Oh, I agree. You can't. That's going to be spoke about for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Wow. So shot 6-0 for the Canadiens in this period. What rebound goes through the crease? Montembeau doesn't know where it is. The Panthers almost strike again. Now the Panthers in the offensive zone. Oh,
How did
man.
that not go in?
Yeah, Montembeault gets lucky here. Just a weird bounce. Slavkovsky coming the other way. Coffield sends this one around. Stribble holds the line there, and Montreal sends it into the offensive zone again. And Panthers are going to come back with it. Heading back the other way here. They're going to dump it in. Montembeault out to play it. Almost a giveaway. What is Montembeault? Stay in your net.
No.
Okay. Montreal the other way.
Oh.
Woods in the corner. Big hit.
Man.
Now Montreal missed slap shot. And, oh man, I can't keep a straight face. This is what a great last couple minutes of this game. Newhook in front. He can't score. Not even sure if he connected on that. It seemed to go right through the crease. If anything, Stolarz might have got the pad in the way.
Wow. I think Montreal's a little bit rattled because of that no-goal call.
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, they're going to want to settle down here. Marty might even want to call a timeout in front, and a stop by Montembeault. Wide open Stenlund.
Oh, yeah, hard on the forecheck there. Real hard on the forecheck from Florida.
Oof. Okay, yeah, that new hook shot did end up hitting Stolarz, and then coming the other way. Oh, Lundell. That's what happened. Lundell shoots it directly through the crease. Wide open net. He misses it, and Montembeault didn't even know where the puck was. So that's what happened earlier.
Ooh. I could have been off the skating in.
Yeah. Like Brian Clark says, I can't believe what I just saw. And Amy, with you and the refs both. So now the Florida Panthers in the defensive end trying to carry the puck out, but Montreal causing a little bit of havoc here. Will they get it out? Nope. Bennett takes a little bit of a tumble.
Oh.
Savard with a big hit.
Good pressure by the fourth line here. Looks like they're getting some ice time, and it's working in their favor, to be honest.
For sure. That's exactly what they want to do, though. They seem like a decent checking line.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Panthers in the offensive zone at the point. Forsling with a shot. That one bounces and hits Montembeault in the shoulder. Montreal trying to come the other way, but that does not connect, and everyone's going to regroup.
Yeah, Montreal's going to want to get the different line out there. Florida's got their second line out there. Fourth versus second. Might be a little bit of a offsided matchup here.
Yeah, a bit of a mismatch here. Now Florida with possession. Tarasenko out there. Back to Mikkola at the point. Reinhart now. And error pass. Mikkola barely keeps it in, but Coffield manages to get it. Going into the zone with some speed. And turnover. Suzuki scores. No need to review that one. Suzuki with a goal. Amy with, oh, captain, my captain. And now I can put up Montreal Canadiens goal for real this time. So 2-2.
Yeah, he's not going to miss from that close, that's for sure.
No, wide open in front. Oof. Bit of a mistake there by, I believe, Kulikov. Tarasenko comes back, but yeah, wide open Suzuki. Mikkola nowhere near Suzuki either.
Oh. Yeah. Cole Caufield putting the pressure on the defenseman there to get that puck turned over.
Exactly. So 70th point, as Elliot M's pointing out, though, that's Suzuki continuing that career high. Anderson with the wrist shot that misses. And this has just been a wild period so far. We're not even at a halfway point. Luckily, we got a commercial break here on the broadcast. And Victor K with a sweet goal. Yeah, great goal from Suzuki. Amy agrees that was a nice one. So, yeah, just you get a little bit of everything in this period. You get a failed power play. You get lots of Montreal opportunities. You get a review for something I didn't even think was going to end up being close to a goal, a bit of a scrum in front of Stolarz and a Gallagher shot. The review says goal. Then they say no goal due to a miscommunication. So it's still 2-1 for the Panthers at this point. Panthers start to come on, and just what an awful sequence for the Panthers there. Nothing went right. Couldn't hold the line. Miscommunications everywhere. Coffield, being the short king, manages to outwork all the Panthers, sending it to a wide open Suzuki. And that's going to be Suzuki's 31st on the year, 70th point. So tied 2-2. And yeah, you can't make this up. This is why we watch this game.
Yeah, it's wow. I'm like everyone at the Bell Center is probably like, what are we watching right now? Everybody on viewing right now, what are we watching right now? You know, it's just I mean, I haven't seen a game kind of unfold like this with all these different kinds of scenarios happening all in one period. It's been exciting to watch, but it's kind of hard to follow at times if you were to walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Just wow. And I'm not sure who that official is. I'll have to grab that name, but yeah, I feel bad for him, but you can't do that, especially at Bell Center. You know, all eyes are going to be on you, and yeah, the crowd letting them have it for sure. Luckily, Montreal bounces back, and welcome to she_26 with a yay, Nick. So you have to be happy for Suzuki, if anything. Now it's a tied game. We can put all that behind us, hopefully.
Yeah, now it's a new game.
Exactly. You were talking about not too long ago how in the last few matchups between these two teams, it's been pretty lopsided score-wise. And we talked about earlier, Montembeault has not been great against his former team, the Florida Panthers. What have you thought about Montembeault so far?
Like, to be honest, I think if you were to look at Montembeault's play over the last 8 games, he struggled. And right now against his former team, he's obviously made a couple plays where he might have wanted those back, but I think he just needs to, just stay calm.
Anderson with almost a breakaway there, but that one misses. Sorry, back to you.
Yeah, you just got to stay calm and collected and keep stopping that puck for the Habs to give him a chance to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to look at the chat here quickly, and Victor says we are on pace for my prediction. Stick to the plan, Habs. So I believe that was a 5-4 overtime Habs victory that Victor is predicting. So we'll see if that comes down. Icing call against the Panthers. Matheson touches that one up. But yeah, Montembeault, I think, like most of the team, was a little bit rattled after that goal was a goal and then was not a goal again. You saw that replay with Lundell shooting the puck right across the crease there. I don't think he even knew where that puck was.
Yeah, that was definitely a scary moment for him, especially when he sees it, especially when he feels something hit his skate. He's probably like, what is that?
Matheson with a shot that doesn't connect. Montreal now running away with the shots, 21-14 right now. Matheson with a shot gets blocked. Montreal hangs on to it, though. Slavkovsky there. He manages to hang on to it. This one gets all the way around the boards. Goalie's going to hold it in, though. Now, Montreal in the offensive zone still. Suzuki with a weak shot that goes towards Stolarz. Montreal just barely keeping the puck in the offensive zone here. Doing a lot of good work. Nico Mikkola for the Florida Panthers getting outworked at all ends of the ice right now. Now, Goalie with a shot. That one gets through, saved by Stolarz. I don't think he saw it either.
Nice sequence.
Caden Goalie now. In front, stay by Stolarz again. Oh, man. The Montreal Canadiens getting a lot of opportunities now. The Florida Panthers sitting back. I think the fatigue from last night's starting to set in.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, wow. So many great opportunities for Montreal.
For sure. Missed icing call, maybe. But the play's going to continue here. Almost at the 11-minute mark.
Evan Rodriguez is taking a spill.
Yeah, taking a beating from Armia in that offensive zone. Savard with a shot that can't get through. And that one goes out of the zone. So, icing now, 11:01 to go. Xhekaj touches that one up. So, there you go.
Yeah. Just to touch upon Nick Suzuki, he's got 13 career games against Florida, and he was 4 goals and 9 assists in those 13 games. So another goal on his total has made him more than a point per game against Florida, which is good to see.
For sure. So now waiting for an offensive zone faceoff. Colin White out there. They have the 4th line. And the Panthers win this one. They'll send it all the way to the other end of the ice. And they get there first. Panthers looking to get back in this game. But that gets flipped out to center, and Montreal trying to go the other way now. Just for a brief period of time, now it's 2-on-2 rush. Reinhart with a nice shot. Now in the corner battling for the puck. Colin White trying to come away with it. He can't. Xhekaj gets there, though. Sends it up the ice. Can't connect with Harvey Pinard. And that's going to bounce up. And a hand pass. So that's going to stop the play. So the Florida Panthers trying to get some chances here off the rush. Not great shots, to be completely honest, but Montembeault managing to keep those out of the net.
Yeah, and it's it's literally all been Montreal with the scoring opportunities right now, and it's I think that's putting a little bit of frustration in Florida right now, because they definitely need to get more shots on net.
So trying to drop the puck here at center ice here. They can't do it cleanly. So we'll get another opportunity here. Looks like Evans out there with Anderson. And the Panthers win that one. Now behind the net, Montreal there to pick it up. They'll try to come down the ice, but yep, they managed to do it cleanly, but give it away immediately. Now behind the net, another breakout pass can't connect. Florida back the other way. They have possession heading into the zone. Reinhart, Tarasenko can't find the open man. Reinhart with a shot. That one misses and goes high. Deflected up and over the glass. She chimes in with, "Come on, Xhekaj, ignore MSL." So, and this one heads into a commercial break. Yeah, I think Montreal doing a good job with some push here. Lots of energy in the offensive zone. Not always connecting on some of those passes, which I think has been their downfall so far in this game. But the Florida Panthers on their heels a little bit. They're trying to get back into it, but I can really see them start to slow up.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. And Florida is looking at those missed passes by Montreal, and they're probably breathing a sigh of relief, just because they know that they don't have to play defense right away. And like you mentioned, the back-to-back is you can tell it's slowly catching up to them.
For sure. The Panthers losing last night to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they lost a couple players after that too, Verhaeghe and Matthew Tkachuk, both not playing tonight. So, of course, that has a pretty big impact. We talked about certain lack of depth scoring, but unfortunately, I guess fortunately for the Panthers tonight, they've managed to find goals from other places. Anton Lundell's looked pretty good so far, despite missing a wide open net.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one, and it's funny that it's almost like it was meant to happen for these top guys to be out, and these other guys stepping up and getting some goals for them.
Yeah, hopefully all these players are good to go for the playoffs, because Verhaeghe, of course, a Stanley Cup winner with the Lightning. Matt Tkachuk always going to be effective in the playoffs, so looking forward to seeing what this Florida Panthers team can do once they get in there. They're clinched, but they certainly want to make sure that they have that home ice advantage. A few points up on Toronto right now. And she's in the chat begging for Trevor to come back, Trevor Letowski. So very impressed with Trevor Letowski there. Please come back. Letowski getting his first win as an NHL head coach just last week in the absence of Marty St. Louis.
Yeah, it was a good victory for him, and definitely you can tell the Montreal Canadiens really played hard to get that victory.
For sure. I'm seeing a little bit of fantasy talk in the chat there, and yeah, I don't know if I started my players tonight, so if that means anything to you both, Amy and Brian. Montreal in the offensive zone here with the big line. Coffield with a shot from a weird angle. Stolarz stops that one, and it's held in at the blue line. Harris with a long shot. That one stopped again by Stolarz. Penalty coming to the Florida Panthers as Coffield gets dumped.
Oh, yep.
So Montreal will go to the power play. It's going to be interference, I believe, against Sam Bennett.
Yeah, that was a play you don't want to do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. I'm not sure what started that, but anyways, Montreal will certainly take it. Of course, the power play 0 for 2 so far. We'll see if they're able to get anything here. And Montreal at one point had a 5-on-3 advantage that they couldn't do anything with. So if they want to go ahead, this is a prime opportunity to do so. Only 4 shots on those first 2 power plays.
Yeah, it just looked like Sam Bennett just gave Coffield a little nudge and knocked him over for no apparent reason.
For sure. So Stenlund manages to clear that one. Matheson cannot keep that in. Montreal's going to have to regroup here. Suzuki hangs on to that one. He dumps it in. Coffield to touch it up. And Panthers with an odd man rush. Luosterainen with a shot. That one gets deflected out of play. Minute 30 left on that power play. And Florida, very dangerous looking. They've had a few opportunities off the rush on the power play, haven't they?
Yes, they have, and it's good to see. And I think that I don't know. I just have this feeling Montreal might be able to get a goal here. I think on this power play.
For sure. Habs currently 23rd in the league, 18% on that power play. But the Panthers pretty good on the penalty kill, aren't they?
Yeah, they're 82% and 9th in the league for the penalty kill. So they're right up there with the good teams there.
For sure. 1 minute left on this power play opportunity for the Canadiens, and failed entry. Florida sends it back the length of the ice. Well, less than a minute to go. It's Montembeault touching that one up. Up to Newhook and Suzuki. And Coffield coming in with speed. Now Slafkovsky has it. He's protecting the puck, but not for long. Bad giveaway by Slafkovsky. Matheson there. Now Montreal trying to get back into the offensive zone. And they managed to hang on to it. Lots of space here. Coffield with a shot. That one misses. Matheson. And a shot. Now Matheson with a shot. That one goes in. Deflected. Montreal goes up 3-2. What a shot. What a deflection.
Yeah. Wow.
So I believe that's going to be a Suzuki goal.
Wow.
Yes.
My gut feeling.
Yes. Good call there, Nathan.
Oh.
3-2 Canadiens after that power play goal. Any worry about that being a high stick?
Potentially. I just gotta look at the replay here. Ooh.
The replay is kind of interesting here.
Yeah, it's like side of the net.
I think it's below the crossbar though. It does hit Suzuki though. So it'll they're gonna take the face off here. That'll stand. No problems. Knock on wood.
Oof. That was gonna miss too. I was gonna miss the net and he just tipped it in. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's 71 on the year for Suzuki. So we get some woot woot Nicky. and a yowza from Victor. So thank you guys. Keep those comments coming into the chat here. So successful on the third power play of the night. Harvey Pinard gets dumped. And Montreal is going to hang on to possession at center ice here. And just a little reminder once again, at the end of this period, we're going to do the same thing. 3-minute break, and then we'll get back here for an intermission show. Lots to talk about with the Florida Panthers and Montreal Canadiens. So Pizzetta in the offensive zone. At the end of that first period, he had the lowest amount of ice time, but he certainly has that one assist on that Yoel Armia goal, the first one for the Canadiens.
Yeah,
and Montreal.
It's good to see them out there, right? So
yeah,
and they're like every time they've been out there, they've kind of been in control of the puck in the offensive zone, cycling it. And they're looking really good this game.
For sure. Evans with a shot. That one doesn't go in. Now back to Matheson. To Goalie. Goalie making a few moves here. Sends it behind the net. Evans sends that around the boards. Goalie keeps it in. And it looks like Florida's going to slow this down, try to come the other way here. Barkov coming through the middle. Great shot there. He takes a tumble. Stopped by Montembeault. So, great play there by Barkov. Montembeault stands tall. Not a great shot, but Barkov doing everything he can to try and get his team back in this.
Yeah, just moving to the center of the slot there to take that shot. I think he was just trying to get some kind of rebound or some kind of something so they can get muster up something for the end of the period.
For sure. So Montreal, a bit of a surprise to see them here ahead of the Panthers. If I'm being honest, I thought the Panthers were going to absolutely dominate here. But this second period has been all Montreal. 2 Suzuki goals. The first one unassisted, his 31st of the year. The second one coming on the power play, his 32nd. This is by Matheson and Newhook. So Newhook, I believe that's his second assist on the night. Yeah, he also had an assist on the Armia goal in the first period. So a couple of 2-point games for the Montreal Canadiens players. Nice to see that from the Montreal Canadiens forwards, and a lot of goals coming from that top line.
Yeah, I think they're making up for last game where we got shut out by the Hurricanes. But it's good to see a player watch. He's making some good passes and getting on the board. So good call on the player to watch. For
sure. Amy says, I walk away for 2 minutes and Suzuki scores again. So don't walk away. There's too much action happening. Wait until we take a 3-minute break. We'll all take a collective walk away together.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back here for the intermission show. Just a little reminder, too, if you're enjoying the show tonight, make sure you hit that like button. That goes a long way in helping us out. Also, share this to invite more hockey fans to join in. We appreciate fans of all different teams, Florida, Montreal. We'll even accept some Leaf fans if you want to do that. We had a Canes fan in the chat at one point tonight, so we appreciate that. And if you want to check out all of our content, stay up to date, hit that subscribe button. And also a notification bell so you get notified every time we drop a brand new piece of content on this YouTube channel. So we appreciate you all joining us tonight. Montreal still up 3-2 on the Florida Panthers. And Suzuki, 72 points after tonight, and certainly stealing the show away from the 50-goal man and Sam Reinhart.
Yeah, no, definitely stealing the show. And I just saw a stat. Nick Suzuki, 67 multi-point games. So it's good to see that stats on there for Nick Suzuki at such a young age.
Nice shot stopped by Montembeault. That one goes wide, almost a scramble, but back to the point for the Florida Panthers. Looks like they use that commercial break to regroup here. Another shot, that one gets blocked. So now the Panthers still hanging on to the puck. They keep it in the zone. Ekman-Larsson. Forsling with the shot doesn't go anywhere. Now Montreal's going to pick it up. Newhook over to Goalie, and will they get it out? Back to Matheson. Barkov causing some havoc. He comes away with possession. Now Florida has the puck. At the point, Panthers now being pretty dominant here. That's going to be a tired Montreal group. Oh, that looks like there might have been a high stick or something on that play. Panthers are going to go to the power play here.
Yeah.
Oof. So let's see what the call is.
I believe
So
it's
56 for holding.
Oh, just right there on the side of the net, right?
Yeah. Just as he was about to cut in front. I believe that was Reinhart. And yeah, right in front of the official too. So you'll see that every single time. So yes,
Yeah.
Ullinen to the box.
That's that right hand right in front of the ref.
For sure. And the Panthers 5th in the league on that power play. So they're yet to capitalize on it yet. They've been 0 for 2 so far. What's your gut feeling on this?
They're going to score. I think, them being down by a goal, they're going to continue. They're going to put the pressure on like they did at the beginning of that first period. And I have a feeling they're going to score to tie it up.
For sure. So power play underway here. Montreal is going to be able to clear that one, the length of the ice, all the way around. They're back to touch it up. And Canadiens Connection says, I agree with you about Letowski. The best people come from Thunder Bay. And I believe Canadiens Connection might be a little bit biased about that one. And she dropping some concerns about Ullinen's ice time. So Ullinen, there's goes his ice time. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Ullinen on an expiring contract here. It seems like the fit's just not worked out. I think that Ullinen has a lot of potential, but yeah, a penalty like that's not going to do you any favors, especially when you're up one goal in the second period.
Yeah, who knows? He may get demoted to the fourth line, and they may move Pizzetta up to that third line. Because Pizzetta's looked pretty good this game, so might mix it up. But we'll see what Martin St. Louis does.
For sure. Panthers passing that one around at the point. About a minute 10 left to go in this one. At the point, it's Montour. Passes that one off. Down low, and they can't do anything with it. Montreal clears the zone once again. So that Florida power play, it's ranked pretty high in the league. I believe 5th in the league right now. And I'm not seeing it. I don't know if this is just an off night, but yeah, you're not going to capitalize if this is what your power play looks like. And now Montreal with a rush the other way. It's Colin White. Pass doesn't get through to Harvey Pinard, but Montreal now has the puck. Montreal with the best chance on that power play.
Yeah, and it's you definitely start to see they're missing those top guys on that power play in it because they're not getting the passes over. They're like you were saying, they're not looking like a number 5 power play in the league.
For sure. And nice heads up play there by Stolars to stop that cross crease pass from Colin White so that it would not get through to Harvey Pinard. And now the power play for the Panthers coming to an end in just a few seconds here. 16 to go. They might get one more opportunity. Reinhart there behind the net battling for the puck, and Montreal's going to clear it. I think that'll do it. 10 seconds left on that power play. So, yes, Ullinen now out of the box. Still 3-2 for the Canadiens. 0 for 3 on the power play are the Florida Panthers. Panthers now breaking into the offensive zone at the point. Slap shot, stopped by Montembeault. Big rebound out to the corner. And now Montreal the other way. Suzuki's out there. It's a hat-trick watch on for Suzuki.
It's very doable.
He can't get through, though. That Florida center ice has stopped things up. Yeah, dump and chase for the Montreal Canadiens, and the Panthers get there first.
Yeah, I think that dump and chase, maybe they should rethink that going into that third period.
So Montreal, I think, is going to be pretty conservative here the rest of the way. They have a way where they just kind of shut things down, and I don't think they'll let the Panthers get too many opportunities. Montreal leading the shot department 27-19 right now. About 2 minutes to go. So 3-2 still, and just going to catch up on the chat a little bit. Amy says, let Ulo go somewhere where he'll actually get to play free. So there's lots of Uladin fans in the chat here, disappointed that he's not been able to play more with the Montreal Canadiens, and I agree. Now the Florida Panthers back in the offensive zone here. Weird bounce, and Montembeault had to be sharp on that. He goes down. Now back at the point. Kulikov with a shot. That doesn't go anywhere. Now Montreal trying to clear the puck. They managed to go the length of the ice here. And we'll get an icing call. Minute 10 left. Ekman Larson collects that one.
Oh.
And big face-off in the offensive zone for the Florida Panthers. So, yeah, I think the Florida Panthers are going to have to win this face-off here. And big opportunity to get some zone time and potentially capitalize here before we get into the intermission.
Yeah, I think that's a good game plan for Florida. They should definitely put their top guys out there, get a goal, and try to kill some of the momentum that Montreal's been able to build up during the second period.
And now less than a minute to go. Florida lost that faceoff, and now they're going to have to go back into the offensive zone. Montreal collects it, though. They chip it out to center ice. Florida first such pounce on it. They dump it in. Going to chase it. Montembeault to play it. Ooh, in front, almost a giveaway to the forechecking Florida Panther player. But Jordan Harris now being very careful as he weaves his way through center ice. 30 seconds left to go. Now, the Panthers out there. Now they have possession. 20 seconds. They're going to have to be quick here. Not a ton of space for Reinhart as he's going to flip it in. They try to send it in front. They can't. Now behind the net, Reinhart can't get there first. Now Colin White. He passes it up to Armia. And that's the end of it. So 3-2 for the Montreal Canadiens. A couple of goals from Suzuki in this one. And like I said before, we'll take about a 3-minute break, and then we'll be back here for our intermission show. We'll see you back here pretty soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to our live stream watch along as the Habs are taking on the Florida Panthers. I'm Nathan, a proud contributor of Rocket Sports, and here I'm with my Rocket Sports colleague and host of Canadian Connection podcast, Michael. How are you doing after that second period?
I'm a little bit riled up right now. That was quite the second period. Just a little summary here coming from @Rocket Sports on Twitter, who live tweets every single Montreal Canadiens game, so make sure you give that a follow. Shots on goal, 13-7 for the Montreal Canadiens in the second period. Habs lead Panthers 3-2. CH goals coming from Armia. Suzuki, his 31st, and Suzuki's 32nd of the season. I believe that's 72 points now for Suzuki. So big game for him. Big period for the Montreal Canadiens, as they were absolutely dominant in that one.
Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens looked, and judging by the shots on goal, the eye test, they seem to be the better team in that period, and they've they really dialed in and caught a Florida Panthers team by surprise, I think, in that second period. I think Florida wasn't expecting what they received in that period.
For sure. So just to recap a little bit too, we had that goal that was, I didn't think it was a goal when it happened. And then they called it a goal, and then they called it not a goal. So, yeah, Gallagher, I guess in the middle of a scrum, came pretty close to scoring a goal. It maybe just passed the goal line by a little bit, but not fully. They went to review it, and I guess miscommunication when the official went to call it, as he said it was a goal and then had to call it back a few minutes later. So I think after that, the Montreal Canadiens were a little bit antsy. You saw that that team maybe was a little bit let down, a lot of face palms, looking up to the sky. But after that, they really got their stuff together, and led by Captain Nick Suzuki, they managed to get it. 2 goals, one coming on the power play. One currently stands as an unassisted Suzuki goal. And there you go. This is how we end up 3-2. Montreal Canadiens leading the way. And as Amy says, could we see a Suzuki hat trick? What do you think?
Well, honestly, I think, the way the Montreal Canadiens are playing and that top line, and honestly, Suzuki, I feel that it's definitely possible considering, we've got a full period to play and potentially a goalie pull if Florida is down by a goal leading into that final half of the third period. So I'm hopeful that that should happen.
Yeah, for sure. So, of course, continue to send in your goal predictions. We'll take that up until the end of the game here. We've had a few come in, and yeah, so far mine not looking very accurate. I thought it was going to be 4-2 Panthers. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to throw that one out the window. But excited to see that the Montreal Canadiens have been so dominant in that second period, and you start to see that fatigue setting in for the Florida Panthers. Stolarz has been standing on his head. I think the MVP of the game so far is Stolarz, better than any player on either side. But of course, there's only so much he can do here.
Yeah, and a crazy stat for the Florida Panthers when they're on a back-to-back, they're 6-0-1. So this very much well be their first regulation loss in back-to-back games.
That's crazy. I actually did not know that. So this is going to be a fun third period, and looking forward to covering that. But just before we get there, we do have a few things that we wanted to talk to you about. We just started to talk about it at the end of the last intermission, but that was in regards to the Panthers' depth scoring, and maybe that's starting to be a problem in this game, where depth scoring just has not been there outside of Anton Lundell. You've seen he's had a few opportunities. He's doing his best. But outside of Reinhart, Tkachuk, Barkov, and Verhaeghe, there's a pretty steep drop-off in terms of scoring on that Florida Panthers team. So I'll get you to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so, you look at the Florida Panthers, they're top of their division, and you're wondering, okay, so you got 4 guys that are doing majority of the work. Where else is all this work coming from? Well, obviously, the Florida Panthers, as you can see in this game, don't really have the depth scoring like you would normally see on a on a high place team in the playoffs or in the playoff race. And honestly, I think part of the success that Florida Panthers have had this season has to go on the sticks of some of their goaltenders. Because if you look at both their goaltenders, they've looked pretty good this season. But I think for the Florida Panthers, I think going into that playoffs for them, they need to address the players that need to be their depth scorers and try to have a conversation with them to see what's not meshing, maybe make some line changes or maybe some personnel changes and kind of see if that will help moving forward going into the end of the season.
Someone that they brought in at the trade deadline that's kind of been supposed to help out with that depth scoring, and they got him pretty cheap, third rounder and a fourth rounder from the Ottawa Senators, Vlad Tarasenko. In 12 games since joining the Panthers, he's put up 9 points. That's pretty good. He's had his impact tonight. I think he's a nice fit there. What do you think about Vlad Tarasenko on the Florida Panthers?
Well, I think for Vladimir Tarasenko, I agree with you. I feel like he's a good fit, and it's over the last couple of games where he's really starting to understand Florida's system and starting to get up like those points. Like he's got an assist again tonight, and honestly, like being able to have a guy like Tarasenko be one of your depth guys for scoring that helps the team out a little bit, right? Because Tarasenko. Part of the St. Louis Stanley Cup win back in 2019. So, I mean, he brings a lot of, playoff experience, a Stanley Cup. So for him to be in the position he's in, it kind of gives Florida, a little bit better of a 1-2-3 line. But, we'll still need to see a little bit more depth scoring from some of the other guys on the team.
For sure. Just got to take a quick look at the chat here. Missed a couple messages from she that I'll throw up. She says, I'm always scared of the third. And this faces me the entire third period. So it's going to be a tight one. Montreal up just by 1. But how about one Alex Newhook putting up 2 assists on the night? Currently, Alex Newhook, his career high is 33 points. That came with the Colorado Avalanche. Coming into tonight, he had 25 points. I guess after the 2 assists, that's now 27. Do you think that he can join Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Coffield in setting a new career high in points this season? I know there's not much time left. He's got a little ways to go.
Yeah, he's got 9 games left. I mean, after tonight, he'll have 8. But, like you said, he's got a couple points tonight. And I feel that Alex Newhook, it's very doable for him to be able to break his 20 or 33 point total in the season. But, he's going to have to do it at a pace that we haven't seen from him throughout the season in such short period of time. So, I mean, for me personally, I think for sure comfortably, Alex Newhook should get to at least 30 points this season. Will he break that 33? Like I said, it's doable. But if he can, play like he is tonight and be able to, get those assists, get those goals, I could see him coming close.
For sure. And you know what? Alex Newhook he's looked pretty good. He's been injured part of the season, which I think adds into it. So maybe more points per game. He's a little bit higher than what he's been in the past. But yeah, I've liked what I've seen the last few games from him. He's certainly got some speed and some good playmaking. Tonight specifically, what have you seen from Newhook that has impressed you?
Well, I think it's he's fast. He's he's all right in faceoffs, but like his forecheck, his playing the body behind the net, trying to tie up those defensemen, holding him against the boards, trying to break that puck out. I think the way he's forechecking and playing the body, I think is something that's really impressing me tonight, because that's something that I haven't really seen much from Alex Newhook, him being on the Montreal Canadiens, but I think he's just trying to find other ways where he can be successful in helping this Montreal Canadiens team win tonight.
For sure. And we talked about Slafkovsky, Suzuki, and Coffield all setting career highs in points this season. That was something we talked about on the Canadiens Connection podcast this past week when we were joined by one Doc Morris. So if you have not already, here's how you can find that podcast, just head over to CanadiansConnection.fm. You can find every single episode there. You can also find it on any of your favorite streaming platforms, including this YouTube channel. We put out the podcast every single Monday, so hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any of those. Like I said, the most recent one featuring Doc Morris talking about Slavkovsky and Cole Caufield. Also, make sure you check out all of our content. We have the draft coming up. The end of the season is near. Head over to thn.com/Montreal to find all of the best Montreal Canadiens content, game day posts, feature articles covering the Laval Rocket. We talked about Laval being in the playoff chase right now, so that's a great place to keep up to date. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media, at Rocket Sports on Twitter, at Rocket Sports Media Inc. on Facebook, at Rocket Sports Media on Instagram, and we appreciate that. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button on this YouTube channel. We have all sorts of great content coming out throughout the week, including more streams, as we have another stream coming up on April the 16th against the Detroit Red Wings. That's going to be the last game of the season, so looking forward to seeing you all there and sharing some favorite memories from the past year. Throughout the week, Amy Johnson, who you've seen quite active in the chat tonight, has a couple different shows. One came out today, the Rocket Hockey Report, entitled Laval Rocket. Just 6 games left to secure their fate. So make sure you check out that video after the live stream here. Amy's a great source to keep up to date with everything Laval Rocket as they make a push for the playoffs. Also, coming out throughout the week is the Habs Hockey Report. That's a great midweek update on the Montreal Canadiens. The next one should be coming out a little bit later this week, but check out last week's episode if you have not already, entitled "Which Montreal Canadiens Blue Line Prospect Earns NHL Job?" So check that out. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like it if you like what you saw here. We appreciate all of that. Back to some hockey talk. Let's talk a little bit more Florida Panthers here, because they are an intriguing team. Last season, they barely squeaked into the playoffs and kind of had a miracle run here. I don't know if we can expect that again. Obviously, they're pretty high in their division. Do you think that they're going to be a Stanley Cup contender in these playoffs?
Well, I'm mixed feelings on that, to be honest. I believe that the Florida Panthers will make it to at least the second round. I feel like in the first, I feel like that's where it's going to be like their first challenge, because there's some strong teams in the East, Carolina, New York, Boston. So I feel that regardless of who they have in the first round, that they should be able to beat them, and their next challenge is going to be in that second round. But that's where I think, if they were to make it past that, I don't see them making it to the Stanley Cup final, only because, there's some potent teams in the Eastern Conference. But hey, if those Carolinas or the Bostons or the New Yorks get knocked out in that first round, then the opportunity for them to go far becomes even bigger.
For sure. Just going to take a quick look at the chat here. Canadians Connection chimes in. Armia 19 points. Anderson 18 points. Who guessed that Armia could finish ahead of Anderson in points this season? And Canadians Connection chimes in again with make that 20 points for Armia with tonight's goal. So Armia, a bit of a bounce back year for him. He started off in Laval, but since coming back up, and especially down the stretch here, he's looked pretty great. He's been a very useful tool. What do you think about Armia?
Armia, man, he's like you're saying, he's been quite the story this year. And to be honest, I didn't think that Armia would be ahead of Anderson. I'm actually completely shocked to see that stat. But it's good for Armia. He's, like you said, he's been battling, up and down season for him. But the second half, it's been, I honestly think it's been really good for him. And it shows why I'm pretty sure he was a first round pick by Winnipeg. Sorry. But it kind of shows where he's got some skills, some hands, and he knows where to be most times.
Sure, and I'll let you read this from the chat from She.
All right. So from She, at Canadiens Connection, I'm happy for Armia, but sad for Josh. I hope he can turn around whatever's going on with him. Broken.
For sure. Of course, Josh Anderson, it's been kind of a rough season for him. It took him a while to get his first goal of the year. And seeing him tonight, like, honestly, I'm just not impressed with anything that he's been able to do. Yeah, it is kind of sad. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah. I just yeah. I'm gonna leave it with sad. That's a good term to put it.
Canadiens Connection says that Anthony Stolarz is unbeaten on the road in 2024. Habs could spoil that streak tonight. So, and Stolarz has been great. This is despite Stolarz's effort that the Florida Panthers are trailing right now.
Yeah, and he's he's been perfect against the Habs too. He's like 3-0-0 against the Habs as a goaltender. So yeah, this could be a very interesting period for both teams.
So, third period, and it's now underway. Puck is dropped. Now at center ice here, it looks like the big line is out for the Montreal Canadiens, and they're going to dump this one in. Stolar is out to play the puck, and Florida's going to try to come out the other way. I want to see a little bit more aggression from the Florida Panthers. I know they're a tired group, but yeah, they're going to have to show a little bit more than what they showed us in that second period for sure.
Yeah, and they can't be dominated by the shots on net and scoring chances.
Wrap around by Coffield and a goal. Montreal up 4-2. Looked like a bit of a nothing play, but Coffield finds a hole, and Stolarz is not going to be happy about that.
Oh, no.
Great goal from Coffield.
Yeah, he really picked up speed there going around that net. You see his little legs doing those crossovers real quick.
Yeah, he's been pretty good this game. He's been winning some battles too, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I know he tried to do that wraparound attempt at the end of that second period. So I think he saw something and he's tried to run with it, and it worked.
For sure. So Stolar's a little bit slow on that play too. He had plenty of time to get to that post, but just could not do it. And Suzuki capitalizes here. Montreal leading the shots 28-19 against Florida, and wow, Florida just falling apart.
Mm-hmm. I think Stolarz thought his defenseman was going to get to his aid here.
Yeah, actually, looking at the replay here, yeah, on tour just could not get there fast enough. Amy says, "Holy Cole Caufield." So there you go, Cole Caufield with his 21st of the season, assisted by Slavkovsky, his 27th assist, and Caden Goalie, your player to watch, with his 16th assist on that one.
Yeah, no, that's good to see some points from our defense, or some assists from the defenseman, and a goal from Coffield.
So Montreal up 4-2, the opposite of what I predicted tonight. Luosterainen with a shot. He can't connect. Now Gallagher the other way, skating backwards. Now he turns around. He loses the puck now, and Florida's going to come the other way. Amidst a line change, a long shot stopped by Montembeault. That one goes to the corner, cycled around. Florida gives the puck away once again. Armia, shot stopped by Stolarz, rebound. And Stolarz lucky there. Montreal comes back in the zone way offside. I don't know what Jesse Ylönen was doing there, because that wasn't even close to being held in.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Jesse Ylönen with a couple plays you don't want to be taking.
Yeah. Ariad chimes in with Go MTL. Welcome you to the stream. Montreal 4-2 now, and yeah, the Panthers just nothing going for them. Just getting to the 20 shot mark, being outshot by 10. And they're going to try to get out to the other end of the ice, but a failed pass.
Yeah, just I feel bad for the Florida Panthers. Like they've had their opportunities in the first period, but since that second period, it's just been not going their way, and Montreal seems to be capitalizing on those chances. So good for Montreal.
Sure. Now Montembeault behind his net to play it. Struble there trying to get the puck out. He tries to flip it up, but Montreal can't get it out right away. Now Montreal does flip it out of the zone and try to go down the ice. That one doesn't connect. Now the other way, Florida with some speed. He can't cut in. Nice move, but can't execute it. Now Florida coming back the other way. Reinhart. Long shot, I guess more of a dump in to the corner, and Matheson's there first. Sending that one around. Montreal trying to get the puck out. There's Slafkovsky. He's hanging on to the puck here, circling around. Lots of confidence there from Slafkovsky tonight. And Montreal's just going to dump this in. I think we're going to see a little bit, we're going to see some slow hockey here from Montreal, I think. They're not going to take too many more chances.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that one. And it's just, it kind of goes back to that Colorado game where they really, managed to figure out how to slow down those Colorado Avalanche. And I feel like that's something they've, taken over game after game after game.
For sure. Now Kulikov tries to come in. The defenseman all alone. 1 Panther, 3 Canadiens. That one gets cycled around. Shot from Lundell. Deflects high. That one doesn't go anywhere. Now Florida just trying to maintain possession here. Mikolo wraps it around the boards. Now they hold it in. Looking for some passes. Going very slow and cautiously. Long shot gets blocked. That was Rodriguez with the shot attempt. And Suzuki tries to get it out of the zone. Not sure what happened there. That's over the glass. Will there be a penalty?
Oh,
yeah, they're going to call that a penalty. So Suzuki to the box.
Oh, no.
So there you go. And Amy with the bad Susie. So Panthers with another power play opportunity. And there's another one of those bad penalties that you were talking about.
Yeah, definitely, especially coming from our captain. That's you got 2 goals on the game, and then we'll go around taking this penalty. Let's hope it doesn't cost the Canadiens.
So a few opportunities for the Panthers tonight on the power play. Nothing to show for it yet. And I think this is their opportunity to get back in. If they don't do it, I don't think they're going to be able to make a comeback here. So Stolar's out to play it. Now Florida regrouping in their own zone. Reinhart going very slow. Dumps it in. And looks like we have a Montreal breakaway. Jake Evans here. Shot, score. Jake Evans with the shorthanded goal. Montreal up 5-2 now.
Oh, wow.
And Amy, oh my God, Jake Evans.
What was that defenseman doing?
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Florida here. Slow coming back, bodies flying. What in the world are we watching from Florida?
I mean, good for Montreal, but
yeah, it was
Yeah,
Lundell coming back too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Jake Evans gets his goal. Shorthanded, Montreal scoring more goals on Florida's power plays than Florida has. Currently 0 for 3 is Florida.
Yeah. Wow.
So
good for Jake
5-2.
Evans getting on the board.
Yes, Jake Evans, that's big for him. Nice to see that. He's a hard worker, so I appreciate that he was able to pull that off.
Mm-hmm. Very good guy in the PK.
Yes, exactly. Very useful tool for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Florida Panthers here with a little bit of power play time left. Jake Evans' goal is going to be unassisted. Ekman Larson with a shot. That one gets stopped. Now behind the net. And we get a whistle. A hooking call. It's going to be 4-4. So Montreal's going to get a little bit of power play time after this.
Man, Paul Maurice is not liking what he's seeing right now.
Yeah, I think that's it for the Panthers. This is getting ugly for them. I don't know what in the world has gone on tonight for the Panthers. Maybe they're just too tired, but yeah, I think the streak you were talking about is about to come to an end.
Yeah, and to be honest here, I wonder if Florida decides to get a little chippy before the end of this game.
Yeah. Do you think we see Bobrovsky coming into the net now?
Well, I think if one more goes in, I think they might want to stop the bleeding, and I would put Bobrovsky in net.
So it's Losteride into the box. 4-on-4 hockey for about 30 seconds, and then Montreal's going to get a 4-on-3 power play. So Reinhart cutting in. Struble being very strong on that. Wide open in front. Barkov misses the empty net.
How?
Reinhart misses. Oh, man.
Oh.
Barkov's not going to miss that very many times, but yeah, it just loses handle on the backhand.
Yikes. That was a goal.
Yeah, Montembeault did not have that.
And Montembeault, he's not looked it's not his best game, even though the Canadiens are winning.
Yeah, I feel that too. Like this could have been easily a lot closer, but
for sure.
There we go. 5-2 for Montreal. Still 14 minutes to go. Barkov there. Shot stopped. Now the Panthers still have control. 6 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Now the Montreal power play is about to begin here. Minute 16 of Montreal with the man advantage. Florida being very cautious here, circling all the way back. Now back in the offensive zone. Forsling. Drive to the net there in front of Montembeault. Bit of a scrum. Reinhart.
Huh.
Oof. Reinhart went right for Goalie after that shot. So I think you're right. Florida's going to get a little bit testy here.
Yeah, that's not good. Bobrovsky's looking up, wondering.
Yeah.
He's like, is it his turn tonight?
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Florida pulling goalie in back-to-back games here.
Yeah, I wonder if that's done. I don't know how many times that's done in NHL history.
For sure. So 1 minute of power play time for the Montreal Canadiens. And they're going to slowly come into the offensive zone. Cut off. Now Florida comes the other way.
Ooh.
Long shot misses. That one goes all the way the length of the ice. Stolar's out there. He plays it all the way down to the other end. Nice shot there by Stolar's. Yeah, that counts as a shot on net for Stolar's on Montembeault.
Wow, that rolly puck.
Oh, Matheson with a short breakaway scores. Oh, no, that stays out. That hit the post. That looked in. That beats Stolar's clean. Oof.
Oh, wow.
Now the other way, Lombard can't get anywhere. Now Slavkovsky controlling the puck. He falls. Florida trying to lay the body down. Even strength now. Montreal coming in on the rush. Circles back to Xhekaj. Now passes to the far point. Slap shot misses.
Oof.
And now Florida trying to come the other way here. They look a little bit tired. They're going to go off on a change at a 3-man collision at center ice.
That was
Slavkovsky, Xhekaj teaming up. Oof, the sandwich there. That's going to hurt.
Oh, I wouldn't want to be between those two guys. Those are big boys.
Yeah, that's the worst combination. So now Florida coming back the other way. They dump it in. Savard out there. He handles the puck. Xhekaj sends it up. Josh Anderson, cross ice. It's Gallagher now. Dumps it in. Jake Evans out there. He gets hit. Now the Panthers trying to come the other way. It's Rodriguez. Long pass. That one can't get anywhere. That gets cut off by Montreal and sent all the way to the other end of the ice. And now Florida's going to dump it in. We get a whistle now. Looks like Pizzetta to the box.
Yeah. I think tripping.
Yeah, we'll wait and see as they head into the commercial break here. But yeah, what an opportunity by Mike Matheson there. Just barely misses. Beats Stolarz clean.
Yeah. This game is full of things. This game's been full of things I didn't even feel like it was going to happen, like it's definitely not my 4-1 prediction, Florida winning.
For sure. And actually, funny little tidbit here, Florida actually tops the league with the fewest goals against per game, averaging 2.43. So, yeah, the last 2 nights, the exact opposite of that is that's 5 goals minimum and against both the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you know what? When we look at that stat and look at the last 2 games, you could not tell that this team was, top in the league for goals against. And I just, for the Florida Panthers, I think that they need to, get some much needed rest and really sit down and figure out what broke down the last 2 games and what caused them to lose. But definitely some of the topics we brought up here today is probably some of the reasons why. And
for sure. And Gustav Forsling has not had his greatest game of the night, to be completely honest. Although Forsling NHL-wide, he actually leads the league in plus-minus. Before tonight, at least, it was 46, plus 46, which is very dominant. Typically, he tilts the ice. He's had his moments, but yeah, not a great night from that Florida D-core, just in general.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, Forsling, he had 37 points and plus 41 in 2021 and 2022. And over his career, he's been a plus 15 over 309 games. So this is something, he's getting better at every season, and it's good to see what he's been doing. But again, like you were saying tonight, he just hasn't really looked like that plus 46 that we see.
For sure. He's dead even right now at a 0 and plus-minus, so not on him, of course.
Yeah.
So Florida to another power play. 0 for 3 on that power play so far in this game. So they come in with speed. Barkov, off the post on the rush here. So close to that. Tarasenko's shot gets stopped by Montembeault. Minute 30 to go.
Ooh. What a nice little pass there.
Yeah. Barkov has been great tonight. Can't blame him at all. Great setup there. And just a good save there by Montembeault, being right in the exact position. And, of course, hitting the post not too long ago. So Barkov wins the faceoff, and the Florida Panthers are on the power play again. 10 minutes and 40 to go in the period. Shot misses. Now the Florida Panthers hanging on to the puck. Montour passes it off to Tarasenko. Back to Montour. Now Barkov here. Oof. Missed pass. Now they lose control of the puck. Oh, they managed to hang on to it, keep it in the offensive zone. Great play there. Shot missed. Now the Panthers with a pretty good power play so far. 50 seconds to go. Tarasenko back to Montour. Slap shot. Tipped. Oof. I don't think that got through to Montembeault, but a couple of great opportunities for the Panthers. That gets cleared out. 35 seconds left on the power play. We're starting to get some Go Habs goes in the chat.
Yes. You can't count the Florida Panthers out just yet. They scored 3 goals in the third period against Toronto to try to mount up a comeback. So
yeah,
still, half a period left. We'll see what they can do.
Wrist shot deflected. That one stopped and stays out. 5 seconds left on the power play. Bennett with a shot stopped by Montembeault. 5-on-5. So 0 for 4 on the power play for the Panthers. And Montreal kills all of those penalties. Panthers still have possession, though. 9 minutes left. Rodriguez out there. Long shot misses. You have to wonder, like, if some of these missed shots are just what's going to kill them in the end. Like,
yeah, like so many opportunities, Barkovs and, Reinhart and, everyone's, I think most of the guys have at least had one opportunity to try to put one in. And, it's unfortunate for Florida, but hey, they can still muster something up and try to put in 3 goals for end of the period.
For sure. So the game's not over till it is. 8:30 left. Montreal winning 5-2, 34-29, also leading the shot department. So whoever's predicted Montreal being up 5-2, congrats to you. We still have time to get in your goal predictions before the end of the game. Please let us know in the chat. So Montreal with possession sends the puck all the way to the other end. Nice spring pass there up to Gallagher. He dumps that one in. Now behind the net, the Panthers are going to try to come up. That one squeaks through, and Jack-Eye there gets to it first at the Montreal blue line. Being very patient with the puck is Jack-Eye.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think they're going to be doing that shutdown. Just keep the puck, hold it out, not let Florida take it, and kind of kill the clock.
For sure. And the Olays start happening in the building. So the crowd here, home ice. This is quite the show the Montreal Canadiens have put on tonight. Quite the game so far. We'll see if Florida has anything left in the tank here. So Florida now breaking into the offensive zone. Shot misses by Mikkola. Barkov tries to find a pass. He can't get it through to anyone. Montreal clogs up that center ice. But Tarasenko now sends it in front. Can't connect to Barkov. Now the Panthers in the corner.
Oof.
Passing that one around to the point. Now Reinhart here with a nice pass. Shot. That one stopped. So now battling behind the net. Florida comes away with it again. For now, at least. And they'd managed to hang on to it. Now, Montreal Canadiens pass it out of the zone. Suzuki taking his time. Takes a nice pass. Oh, Anderson gets stopped by Stolars there on the backhand.
I was like, that's
Josh
goal.
Anderson, almost.
Oh, man.
Oh, almost Anderson. I'm not sure Josh Anderson will ever score another goal ever again from Amy. Yeah, if he can't score on that, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, man.
But great opportunity there. Great setup by Suzuki. Anderson, nothing doing.
Yeah, just a slick pass. Just a little sauce to his stick and no finishing. Come on.
For sure. So heading into the commercial break here, we'll get a few minutes. Just wanted to let everyone know. Make sure you mark the calendar. Our next live stream is going to be the last game of the year, April 16th, Canadiens versus Red Wings, and this might have implications on the wild card race as the Red Wings still in the thick of it, not too far out of it. And the Capitals down 6-2 against the Sabres tonight. The Capitals are tied with the Red Wings in points at the moment. So there you go. That race still alive and well. Make sure you mark the calendar. Also, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you do get notified the moment we come out with another piece of content or have a live stream. Looking forward to seeing you all there. And also, just a little programming note. Make sure you stick around for the post-game show. Final round. We'll stick around to talk about the game and a few other things. Let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about in the chat. We'll be taking questions there too. So stick around for a few minutes after the game. And what a period here, Nathan. Just chance after chance from the Florida Panthers, and nothing looks like it's all that dangerous. And then all of a sudden, the Montreal Canadiens simply look at Stolars and get an amazing scoring opportunity. Can you explain this one to me?
Well, I feel like Montreal, considering they didn't have a game last night, they're playing to their strengths against the Florida Panthers, and that's just getting to those pucks in this period. Clearly, the back-to-back is kind of catching up to Florida. And maybe some of the puck luck is just not there for Florida as well. But I got to give it to Montreal. They're playing a game. I honestly thought they weren't going to win, but hey, they're doing good. They're getting opportunities and they're capitalizing on them.
For sure. So Stolars, I think, deserves a little bit better than what has happened tonight. 5 goals against. And Florida with a shot here. They won an offensive zone faceoff, and they got to work pretty quick. Now back the other way, Montreal on the rush. And a big hit after the whistle on an offside. It was Nick Cousins on Jake Evans, I believe. Gallagher, Forsling mixing it up too.
Wow, I think they're going to go.
I don't think the officials are going to let them.
Oh,
maybe.
What is going on? Ripping him
Gallagher on Montour. Gallagher still has a stick in his hand. Montour flips him with a perfect wrestling move.
Oh, man.
Lomberg down the middle of it.
Huh.
Oof.
This
is... Yeah, the Panthers not going down easy here.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Jacka is like not more into it, you know. Gallagher's getting in more of it, you know.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, way after the whistle, Evans takes exception on that, and just the whole line gets in a scrum here. So Amy with the here we go, and Gallagher just got completely ragdolled. Canadiens connection confirms Montour ragdolled Gallagher. Yeah, just Montour Gallagher looks silly. I don't know. I feel like Gallagher still had a stick in his hand during that. I'm not sure what Gallagher was doing trying to mix it up.
Yeah, he's just holding on to the stick as he's being thrown around, and I would just drop the stick and let's go.
So
I got a bunch of penalties here.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta watch
power play.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those hits. You know, like Jake Evans has been. You know, we know what happened a couple of years back in the playoffs, and dirty hit, right? So.
Yeah, I think Cousins knew what he was doing there, and he's going to be the one going to the box here, or one of the many players going to the box.
Yeah.
Way after the whistle. No need for that, and unsuspecting Evans too. So I think Cousins was just out there looking for blood.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think it's the temper's flaring over and just trying to get what they can.
Amy says you get a 10-minute misconduct, and you get a 10 minutes misconduct, and you. So Montreal on the power play. Nice opportunity pretty quickly there. That one stays out. Matheson with a long shot. Now the Florida Panthers coming the other way here. And Montreal's going to come the other way. Minute 33 to go on the power play. Florida being very choppy with those sticks. Oof. Looks like Florida's going to the box again.
Oh, no.
So it's going to be a 5-on-3. I think Florida's totally checked out here, and they're just looking for blood.
Yeah, this is...
slashing.
Yeah. Like, what is going on?
Canadiens Connection says Cousins is a former teammate of Gallagher and Evans.
Wow.
And Victor confirming on a good note, I did predict Montreal would score 5. So you're the closest one so far, I think. So a minute 25 of man advantage. Victor says, awesome game, Habs. It's still a little bit to go here. 5:25, right off the draw. Stolars has to make a stop. And John Slattery, welcome to the chat. My best friend is a Habs fan. I'm a Leaf fan, actually. Mitch Marner is my favorite Leaf. So we got a Leaf fan in the chat here. Cole Caufield out there on the power play. 1 minute left with the 2-man advantage. Suzuki there too, looking for the hat trick.
Yeah.
Lots of patience. Nick Suzuki passes it off to Cole Caufield now. Coffield now at the point. Errored pass. That one gets partially blocked, but Suzuki does get to it.
What is with
Matheson now. Side of the net. Shot. That one goes off the post. Stopped by Stolars. And now Florida scrumming in front of the net again.
What is going on?
Wow. Going after Slafkovsky and now Newhook. I wonder if the officials are just going to start sending everyone off the ice now.
I think so. Oof. So close. Look, they're both like just went. All three of them almost went after him.
Yeah.
Look at the two. Yeah, both of them.
Wow. Another penalty.
What? And Slav goes?
And Slav goes. Yeah.
They're trying to control the game.
Yeah. Are we going to get some 4-on-4 here? Nikola's ejected.
Oh, no. It probably still says a 2-man advantage or more.
But good opportunity. Suzuki almost capitalizes on the hat trick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That bench is getting smaller for Florida.
Goes right after Slafkovsky here. Kulikov. So 3 players in that box for Florida. Yeah, I think it'll still be a 5-on-3. Wow, the penalties are on tonight.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
John says my favorite Hab is Nick Suzuki, so there you go. Oh, breakaway for Florida? That one's stopped by Montebeau. Now, Montreal the other way. They have numbers. Nick Suzuki behind the net. Tries to cycle that one around. That one misses. I think there might have been a slash or a high stick there. Another call comes. Oh, yeah, interference it's going to be.
Oh, man. Oh,
so,
man.
Wow.
They don't make the penalty box big enough.
Slashing. Yeah, one of these Florida players are just standing up. They're just mailing it in. They don't care.
Oh, man.
Right on the gloves, too.
Man.
So, Ekman Larson to the box now. It's going to be 5-on-3 forever.
Yeah, you see the Habs fans just taking pictures of all the Florida Panthers fans in the box.
Wow.
I gotta save this. Boom, memento.
Now 10 seconds left with the 2-man. Backhand misses.
All right.
Matheson at the point. Now Suzuki. Back to Coffield. Matheson. Now 30 more seconds of 2-man advantage. Lots of great passing going on here by the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Looking for a good pass. Matheson. Now to Coffield. Now Suzuki. He's going to have to skate away, find some open ice.
Yeah.
Oh, right into Coffield skates, and Matheson with a shot that misses.
Oh, so many opportunities.
Oh, man. Oposo now out of the box. 1:20 on the power play. 4-on-3 now. Or, sorry, 5-on-4, rather. So, yeah, that was a mess.
What's what? 3 5-on-3s? Is that technicality?
Yeah, I think so. Because you can't have less than 3 players out there. So we had a couple 5-on-3s in a row just to get a man out there.
Yeah. So 0 for 3 on 5-on-3s. Hey,
yeah, it's not great, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
So Canadiens Connection says Panthers down 2 men, but Lawrence with a breakaway. Don't see that every day. And that's true. That's a great point.
Yeah.
We have Jason joining us with Crosby #1. So I guess we have a Crosby fan in the chat. Stolars covers that up off the face-off. 3 minutes to go. Oof. I feel like every period I'm saying, wow, what a period. And just, yeah, what a game at this point. And make sure, just a little reminder here, stick around after the game for a final round. It's a post-game show. We'll summarize and talk about everything that just went down.
Yeah. It's good to see Logan on the ice. Looks like Martin St. Louis is giving him a little bit more ice time, even though he took that penalty earlier in the game.
Yeah, I think you start to spread out that ice time on the power play here. You have Goalie out there too with Anderson. So not their typical mix. Colin White too.
Oof.
Now the Panthers shorthanded. 2-on-1. And Luosterainen with a shot stopped by Montembeault. So a couple of good stops there from Montembeault.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a giveaway by Logan.
Yeah. 30 seconds left on the Montreal power play. That one gets dumped the whole length of the ice. And Goalie there to pick it up.
Oh.
10 seconds left on the power play. And that goes the length of the ice. Oh, right in front of Montembeault. Great opportunity, misses. So 2 minutes left. That gets dumped in. Jake Evans there, and Florida Panthers are going to come the other way.
I feel like the Florida Panthers have had more opportunities shorthanded than they did on the power play.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. Tarasenko there with a shot gets stopped. Oof. Coming in from Canadiens Connection, will we see tours of the backgrounds in the last round? And you betcha Nathan's all ready to show you the background here.
Yep. Show you all of it.
Some Go Habs goes coming through the chat here. So Bennett there, wide open, goal. Bennett with a goal, 5-3. So the Panthers back in it. We might see a pull goalie at some point. So minute 16, I wonder if Florida's going to try to pull the goalie pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to lose, right? I mean, they're already losing.
But... I mean, yeah. But yeah, finally. Great move by Bennett, though. Just kind of circles around. Montreal, terrible coverage, and yeah.
Just pick the corner.
Yeah. Nothing doing for the Montreal Canadiens on that one, and it's 5-3 with a minute to go. Amy with the oh no, but we got some Go Habs goes in the chat, so let's see now. The Panthers are in the offensive zone here. And they're going to keep it in the offensive zone here, but not for long as Montreal's there to pick it up behind the net. Cycling it around, but it's held in. Now behind the net. Oof. Centering pass misses. Ekman Larson with the slap shot misses. Side of the net. Florida cannot connect on anything. 40 seconds left. Penalty again. It's going to be Slavkovsky again. So just going to try to catch up on the chat here. And Amy reminds us of the time that Montreal beat the Panthers 10-2. Good times.
Yeah. Carey Price's final game.
Yeah. And let's hear you fans from Rocket Sports. And she says, yes, we got it, guys and girls. So less than a minute to go. And Slav is in the box here. Florida with another power play. They've not capitalized on a single power play tonight. That's Sam Bennett's 18th of the season that just happened earlier. Panthers at the point. Shot stopped by Montembeault. Less than 30 to go. 0 for 5 are the Panthers on the power play.
That can't be a fifth place power play unit.
No, this is just awful from the Panthers.
Yeah.
Sport Kid chimes in with Suzuki is the GOAT. Certainly is tonight.
Yeah.
Larson with the slap shot, stopped by Montembeault again. Montreal clears it. We'll be about 10 seconds here as Florida comes back to pick it up. So not much time left. Florida's going to have to be quick. 3, 2, 1. And that's the game. 5-3, the Montreal Canadiens win.
Woof.
Habs win.
There it is.
So Montreal beating the Florida Panthers. Quite the game, and we'll get to it pretty soon here. And we'd like to welcome you all to It's the last round, so if you have any final comments, feel free to put that into the chat here. I'll just get you, Nathan, to start summarizing what in the world we just watched here.
Well, I'm going to say it was a very entertaining game, at the least. You had, everything happen. Goals called off, missed opportunities, goals, shorthanded goals, power play goals. It was a pretty good game to watch and pretty exciting. And, you could really feel the emotion from both sides on how, when you were watching the game, on how that emotion kind of took over in certain areas. And I think that the biggest issue for the Florida Panthers would have to be just, they just got tired, I think. And they weren't able to get anything going early enough in that second or third period to really help them out after that first. So I think, having that back-to-back actually might have hurt them tonight. But, it's good to see Montreal be able to pull out a victory against the Florida Panthers because, they've only done that once in the last, twice in the last 13 visits. So it's good to see.
So just going to catch up on the chat here briefly. So Amy says, so scrum after the final horn, you think? I don't think I ended up seeing one, but yeah, that would have been right in line with what this game was. Victor says, bravo, Habs. We get good games. Amy says, Habs win. And she says, Amy, if Shakai's involved, responding to the scrum. And there we go. Let's go. Losing streak is over. Amy says, let's go Habs. And of course, Victor pointing out, I win best prediction. I win a cookie. So you can get yourself the cookie. Unfortunately, we have nothing to offer. But good prediction, though. You were pretty closer than the rest of us, I think. She says, absolutely my kind of game. And Victor says, thanks to Amy. After Amy says, congrats to Victor K. Very good early score prediction. So I believe that was a 5-4 overtime prediction. 5-3. Well, we'll allow it. That was good enough.
Yep.
So just a little summary or recap of this game. Like you said, a little bit of everything happens. Montreal beats the Panthers 5-3. CH goals coming from Armia, his 14th. Suzuki, his 31st. Suzuki's 32nd. Coffield with the 21st goal. And Evans at the very end, his 7th of the season. Next game coming up is against the Tampa Bay Lightning on Thursday, at 7 p.m. So it's going to be a good one to look out for. Once again, this tweet from @RocketSports on Twitter. Make sure that you give that a follow, as @RocketSports is going to live tweet every single game. The Florida Panthers actually scored the first goal of this one. It was Anton Lundell's 10th of the game. He got things started, but Montreal not too long after that. Armia with a great play from Pizzetta, and then Barkov closed out that first period with the Florida Panthers up 2-1. Of course, in the second period, that's when the tides really turned, as Nick Suzuki scored 2 goals, one on even strength, one on the power play. In the third period, Montreal continued to dominate as Cole Caufield just 33 seconds into the period to score a goal. Jake Evans shorthanded, and Sam Bennett right at the end, 18:44 into the third period, gets his 18th of the season. And right at the end there, the Florida Panthers actually win the shot department 42-39, but they go 0-for-5 on the power play. Montreal 1-for-7 on the power play, but some of those were very short power plays of just 15 and 30 seconds. 30 penalty minutes for the Panthers, 16 for the Canadiens. The Canadiens actually out-hit the Panthers 19-15, as Canadiens Connection pointed out earlier. Going into tonight, at least the Panthers led the league in hits, so Montreal manages to best them at that game. And, of course, lots of block shots for both sides, 17 apiece. Let's talk about what do you think the turning point was here for the Montreal Canadiens?
Well, I think the turning point for the Montreal Canadiens was that second period. In the first period, Florida clearly was, started out hot, was, getting chances, keeping Montreal out of their zone. But when it came to that second period, I felt like Montreal kind of took it to them. Maybe some calls that went for them. The penalties being called and such. But Nick Suzuki getting those 2 goals in that second period definitely, I would say, took the wind out of their sails and definitely made this game a lot harder for them to overcome going into that third period.
For sure. I guess for the Florida Panthers, where did this really start to fall off the rails for them?
Well, it would have to be, I think, kind of in that first period, close to the end of that first period, they did score a goal, but, you slowly started to see Montreal kind of get into the game. And then when it came to that second period, Florida didn't have the greatest second period, and they were outshot pretty heavily. I felt in that second period, and honestly, I think with Suzuki scoring those 2 goals, Florida was kind of didn't know what to do. And at that time, I think they tried to do things that just weren't working for them. And then that's kind of snowballed into the third period and then just a total collapse after that.
For sure. Just going to take a look at the chat here for a second. It's quite a bit has gone on in here. Just want to point out a nice message from She. This live stream was both fun and turned out to be a winner too. So that's what we strive for. So appreciate that.
Yes.
And of course, the winner of the goal prediction closest was Victor, and Canadiens Connection will gift a free subscription to the Canadiens Connection podcast for Victor and all other Habs fans. I believe it's free to subscribe anyway. So great victory there for Victor. And let us know if you have any comments or questions in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Amy says Suzuki, definitely best player tonight. I agree. I think all in all, that has to be the case. At one point, I thought it was going to be Stolarz, but Suzuki really did end up stealing the show here. In your mind, let's talk about some of the missed plays. And I feel like the missed play really just came from the officials with that goal, not goal. Can you talk about this for a second and how that kind of riled up, I think, both teams in the second period?
Yeah, I mean, for starters, I think as a referee in the National Hockey League, that is something that you cannot do. Whether it was, I don't know where the fault came from. Was it Toronto that gave the wrong call? Was it the ref misinterpret it? We don't know that part, but I think that regardless, at the NHL level, that just can't happen. And I feel that both teams were kind of saw that and was kind of like, okay, what's going on? But Montreal seemed to take that and kind of run with it. If when you look at it, and if I was that official, I would definitely figure out what went wrong there to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, for sure. Canadiens Connection says turning point, ref calling goal/not goal within seconds. I agree. For me, this is really where the turnaround happened. Not only was it the biggest missed play of the game, but this was probably the major turning point, because after that, like you said, it seemed to be all Habs. There was a brief second there where I thought Florida was about to break through. Anton Lundell shot the puck through the crease, missing an empty net. I think if Lundell had hit that, it might have been a very different game after that point. But between the missed call and the missed goal from Anton Lundell, I think you practically handed this game on a silver platter to the Canadiens, because it wasn't long after that they managed to score Nick Suzuki with that first goal of the game. So really turned the tides for both teams. And I don't know what happened to the Panthers after that. That's 2 games in a row that they've lost with giving up 5 goals.
Yeah, no, and I do agree with you on all that, Michael. And honestly, I think the Florida Panthers, they're in a playoff spot. They're clinched, but hey, you guys got to do a little bit of soul searching entering into those playoffs, because the last 2 games, like you said, just is not what you expect from this team.
Panthers 3-7-1 in their last 11 games. So that record coming from Canadiens Connection. And yeah, that's absolutely not good for these Florida Panthers. I understand that they want to, that they've clinched a spot. Maybe there's not a whole lot to play for beyond home ice. But yeah, you're going to want to get some stuff together. It's not going to get easier. Matthew Tkachuk out with illness tonight. Carter Verhaeghe, a 71-point man, is going to be out week to week here. So, yeah, it's certainly a tough spot for the Florida Panthers. And I think it kind of has to start with goaltending. I know that Stolarz put on one heck of a performance, but last night against the Leafs, Bobrovsky getting pulled, that wasn't great. And I think that kind of set the tone and fed into this game a little bit too.
Yeah, the goaltending is definitely something that's been a hot thing for the Florida Panthers, but recently, like you were saying, it's not been so great. And yeah, that's definitely, I agree with you. That's something that has to be fixed for sure.
For sure. And Amy's replying to Canadiens Connection. Yikes. That's a troubling stat for Paul Maurice. And of course, Paul Maurice did not look happy in this game for the Florida Panthers. In general, I feel like when the Habs had their scoring opportunities, they looked a lot more dangerous than the Florida Panthers did at a lot of different points. The Florida Panthers got a lot of shots for sure, but I feel like the best chances were just Montreal off of just Florida Panther defensive collapses. What do you think?
Yeah, I know a lot of those goals, were caused by the Florida Panthers, either like you were saying, not getting the puck out, even misreading where players are, allowing players to get in behind them. It's definitely things that the Florida Panthers definitely want to correct. But you have to give kudos to the Montreal Canadiens and being able to score as many goals as they did and keep up with a team, or possibly play better than a team that's currently in a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think that's true. You have to give credit to the Canadiens here, especially Nick Suzuki, who really took over in that second period. I think it's fair to start calling Nick Suzuki a game breaker at this point, really proving himself. And yeah, I think that Montreal did a good job of making their own chances. Even Michael Pezzetta there on the first Armia goal, just finding the right spot. Armia going to the right place in front of the net there to take care of the trash and put in the rebound. So credit to the Montreal Canadiens here. I think that they probably end up being the better team tonight for sure. And throughout most of the night too, they led the shots department. So yeah, the Florida Panthers collapsed, but certainly the Montreal Canadiens looked good here.
Yeah, like you said, Montreal opportunistic, right? So like they made their own luck, which was good. I mean, some was for them, but like you said, they made opportunities and they scored on them.
For sure. So just going to give everyone a few minutes here to get into the chat. Actually, I see the Canadiens Connection here. Eric Furlat was the referee that made the mistake on the non-goal. So yeah, there you go. Eric Furlat. I do recognize that name. It's never a good thing when you recognize an official's name from my experience. So yeah, big misplay from him. You'll be seeing that on all the sports channels until the end of the year, I'm sure. And Canadiens Connection adds that he's from Trois-Rivières, so a Quebec boy as well. So that's embarrassing.
Oh, no.
Maybe a little bit nervous.
Oh no, that's not good. That's
So
good for the media.
yeah. So as we get to our final round here, I'll give everyone one last opportunity to put their thoughts, comments, and questions into the chat here. And Nathan, I'll hand the floor to you just to do one little tour of your background before we head out.
Oh, right. Okay. So this is the workspace here. We got over in the top right or top left corner. You got leadership of Maurice Richard, just kind of explaining what leadership is and what kind of qualities you need to have to be as a leader. I have a strobe Montreal Canadiens light, and then if you go over to this wall over here, it's actually a banner of all the Stanley Cups that Montreal has won up until 1993. So I do have quite the collection, just a Montreal Canadiens jersey with the Stanley Cup final emblem on it. And then Montreal Canadiens jersey. I've got a Toronto Maple Leaf sign it's a Montreal Canadiens sign. It's welcome Habs fans or Canadiens fans, Toronto Maple Leafs fans. Please use backdoor. I can't hang that at my house. I got too many family members that are Leafs fans. I don't think they would appreciate it if I did that. So,
for sure. Canadiens Connection says hockey was safe today in Trois-Rivières. Article at thn.com/Montreal. And on that note, for those that already don't know, we cover the Montreal Canadiens for the hockey news, us here at Rocket Sports Media. So head over to thn.com/Montreal. You will also find the post-game recap on there coming up very soon from Rick Stevens. So if you liked tonight's game, make sure to check that out. In general, we put out all sorts of great content. Look out for Laval Rocket, Trois-Rivières, and feature articles. Make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at Rocket Sports. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Plus, check out our weekly podcast, Canadiens Connection, at canadiensconnection.fm. That, of course, comes out every single Saturday, and it comes out on this YouTube channel every single Monday. So make sure you look out for that. If you haven't already checked it out, check out some of the content we have on this channel. Lots of great stuff here. Today, Amy Johnson put out the Rocket Hockey Report. You'll want to check that out too, as the Laval Rocket are pushing for a playoff spot. And just wanted to give everyone one last thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you all sticking around with us. Make sure you check out that post-game recap at thn.com/Montreal. Also, check out the other content here. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We'll be back here for another live stream on the 16th. Currently, the Montreal Canadiens, after 74 games, they have a record of 29, 33, and 12. That's 70 points. Now tied with the Ottawa Senators with one extra game played, as the Ottawa Senators currently down 2-1 against the Wild. So they could be tied after tonight. Thank you all once again on part of Rocket Sports Media. We are your inside link to the Montreal Canadiens.